Hello there, everybody! It's time for Strange Horticulture plant growing game. I have plants, I grow them, everybody looks at the plants and goes, wowie, wow, wow, they're so pretty, look at that! Ant has just wandered in now too, looking for the plants. Where are they plants, they ask, desperately swinging their arms around. Don't worry. The plants, as I also, hang on, clear off the graffiti. Oops, that's not cleaning it off. That's adding an extra line. That is the opposite of what I want to do. Plant eaters with sweaters, don't eat the plants. Wait, hang on. We are probably going to be eating plants, aren't we? You know, like salads and the like. Potions, brews, drugs. Yeah. What else would we do with the plants? We can't just look at them. Here we go. The streets of Undermere are narrow and claustrophobic. In many places, the buildings lean out at the upper floors so that neighbors can reach across and shake hands. Or more likely, exchange unpleasantries. We don't really shake hands here very frequently. It's maybe more accurate to say we throw punches and insults. Flip that M and it's underwear. Willie, how could you do this? This isn't underwear. Stop it! Strange Horticulture is a small shop situated away from the main thoroughfares, but it has the advantage of being one of the few buildings in Undermere that stands alone. Plants, you may have noticed, need light, and light is in short supply at street level in this town. And that's why Strange Horticulture beat everybody up. All the other buildings that wanted to get put down around here, This is Strange Horticulture's territory, see. Turf War. That's right. We pull out our weaponry of bricks and huck them at neighboring buildings. Destruction reigns. Recently, the shop has passed to me after the death of my uncle. There is so much to learn, but one thing is already clear. The rare and unusual plants that he stocked may have their uses after all. And hello there, kitty. Hey, hello, welcome. Day 1, Friday. This game features some small text. If you have difficulty reading, you can use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. That's right, we can enhance. I zoom in, emphasizing the Friday. Okay. See, and then as I move over this note, enhance. I found it. An excerpt on the elusive wandering boo. Come to the library and Ambleside, and I'll tell you all about it. I've even found something on the Gilded Dendra that might be of interest. Simone. P.S. Give Hellbore a good scratch behind the ear for me. Hellbore is also a type of plant. So I have named cat over here. After plant, and look at that, we can pet the cat, chat, look at that. Oh. May these plants feed all of chat. I hope that all of the plants don't feed chat because they're not all safe to eat. A couple of them are poisonous. Also see there's a little note here, which has a little picture of a flower. And I can pull out a little drawer here as well. And I can put away that letter, you know, keep it handy for later, but clear up desk space. There's also this. Dangerous plant. Grows sparsely in the hills to the northeast of Backbarrow. Keep it secret. A dangerous plant. It's gonna be for poison. If we want to kill anybody, we might want that one. Will there be any taste samplers? We could make some up. And it looks like it's wanting us to ring this bell over here because I can see it blinking, so very well. Click the bell. Why, hello there. I must have walked past this shop 100 times without ever stopping to look. What a wonderful place to spend your day, surrounded by plants. I came here because I have an unusual request. At night I hear whispered voices, too faint to hear clearly, coming from the floor above me. But nobody lives up there. The rooms are empty. My curiosity has gotten the better of me. I must find out what they're saying. Alright, so this lady wants some St. John's poppy. And looking at my plants right here, we've got quite the selection. I don't know what they all are, so if we pull out here our book, the big book of plants, she needs nightshade. No, she doesn't, kitty. She's saying right here what we need. St. John's poppy. I don't think a St. John's poppy is a nightshade. You want a plant to commune with spirits? Apparently that's what she wants, yeah. A note from the author. This encyclopedia can be used as a reference to help identify plants. Note that where I have included sketches, these are not always intended as an aid to identification. Often the description will be more useful to you. Remember to take extra care when dealing with poisonous plants. I accept no responsibility should injury or death occur as a result of misuse of this encyclopedia. Everybody always needs a little bit of nightshade, should just come complimentary with each order. Oh, so you're saying that I should say, maybe take a little trim off of one of my nightshade plants and put it in a little tiny baby bottle and put it down and be like, here, just in case you need to deal with any, spirits up there, alright? You want a plant to commune with spirits, and we call those fungi, right? Is that what you're referring to? You know, mushrooms to allow you to commune with the spirits? That's probably pretty accurate. So, over here we've got the contents, and here we've got St. John's poppy. We flip over, we can find out, we can see like a little picture here, a little drawing of the flower, as well as a little description of it. And another description, there's like a two-part description here. She needs that good kush. I don't think she's here for, you know, weed. I don't think she's looking for that. The vibrant petals of this flower can be brewed to create a draught that can greatly improve the imbiber's hearing ability. There you go, that's why she wants the poppies, because apparently it makes you have super hearing. I mean, if you want to communicate with the spirit world, nightshade would work, because then you'll be part of the spirit world. Still, you genius. You want to talk to spirits? Just become a spirit. It's so easy. The flowers of St. John's poppy are bright red with yellow. So, convenient that I had moved the greenhouse window view, because it's pretty clear. That looks pretty accurate. Look, we can even do a closer inspection here. Get a little zoom in. The red flowers are red with a sweet scent. Oh, they smell nice, chat. We've also got some labels over here. So if we pull those out, up on top of the plant here, we can go ahead and label it. St. John's poppy. We can also color code them. I imagine this might be useful if we want to, say, label poisonous plants, and we could stick them all at red to be, you know, a label for danger. Be careful of this plant. So we'll go ahead and just leave this one yellow, because I think this one should be fine to consume, seeing as you're making a draught you consume for your hearing abilities. But there we go. See? Look at that. And then we hand it to her. Here's the entire plant pot. Oh, no, I guess I'm only giving her some. And now we have it identified too. We got a reward. That is a book entry. I take the book entry. It is the clavilium. According to legend, clavilium can be used to open any lock, no matter how complex or secure. The heart-shaped petals have earned this plant the nickname Lovelock. How the fuck does a plant unlock locks? Do you grab it and it feels like a hunk of metal? It's just so thick and you just jam it into a lock and then the lock just, you know, click. There you go. How does this work exactly? Huh? But can it undo the lock on my heart? I grab the petal from the love lock. I shove it into Gooblin's mouth and force him to eat it. Well, Gooblin, did it work? Did it unlock your heart? Can I unlock your heart that way? Or do I have to stab it into your chest like a knife? Suspension of disbelief! Ruined. I like that Welly had essentially the same thought, commenting, "Does it unlock hearts? Can it be used for love potions?" Oh, heck. Oh, jeez. I guess we're gonna have to find someone that wants romance in order to find out, huh? I feel like I can fly. Cooch Gooblin jumps off a cliff. He can't fly. You might have unlocked their bowels instead. But also, who has time to play every game? I live in professionals like Caco. That's right, I, a professional gamer, over here streaming on Twitch. I've got a degree in gaming. Make sure you leave the gaming to professionals. Alright, well, now that we've helped out that customer, it seems like we have 2 tasks that we can do in regards to finding this dangerous plant. And, you know, this excerpt. So if we come to the library in Ambleside, so maybe we'll go talk to Simone first. You need to clean your desk. These kind of look like stains. I'm not sure if I can clean those out or not. And unfortunately, in my little slide over here, I don't have a cleaning cloth. So we're a little bit fucked. I'm also not going to go through and try to identify all of the plants right now. We'll just identify as we go. You know, we'll have someone wandering and be like, "Hey, I'm looking for this St. John's poppy." And then that's when we'll identify them. That's what you get for not treating the wood. Oh. Look at the stains, but what if it wasn't me that made these stains? What if it was my uncle and he made the little coffee ring and then spilled the little coffee splotch up here? Right? Might have neither the time or inclination. What the hell? And why do your plants using the watering can to earn the will to explore? What? You see this, chat? God damn if it doesn't make me feel bored as hell and makes me, like, look out the window and go, "Aw, heck. Aw, jeez. I wish I was out there right now and not inside here doing chores. Jesus. I want freedom. I don't want to be in the greenhouse all the time. Fuck this watering them out. That's right." I like watering my plants. But Dagnardio, doesn't that make you want to go outside and explore? That way you can find new plants? Hmm? What? Well, I thought I guess I'm not getting enough points. I have to water a little bit longer. Yeah, I guess those are just big bursts of inclination. There we go. Now I want to explore. Open up my map. They were talking about Amblewood and the one, right? What? I know. Hang on. There we go. Okay. To the library in Ambleside. So, where's Ambleside? There's a castle up there. I've got Foxfield over here. Alright. Here's Arnside. Wait. See, Amble, A-M-B-L. That's clearly. But that over here, that's Arnside. That's not quite it. Oh, look! Here we are, up in Undermere, and I see there's Ambleside, right there. So I think maybe if we just click on it where it gives us the little hover, like so, we can wander over to it, yeah? The library here in Ambleside is one of my favorite haunts. Simone, the librarian, is always helpful and friendly, and shares some of my passion for unusual plants. Today, she's grinning ear to ear and can't wait to show me what she's found. Can you draw on the map? I mean, technically, yes. You know, just give it a... Give it one of these. Right there, see that? Drew on the map. There it is. But I think that's as close as we can get to drawing on the map. I don't have any pens or anything of the sort. I don't have no pencils. I meant in-game. Yeah, if you look around to what I've got, I really just have what is in my little drawer here. So I don't think we can do anything for the map, drawing-wise. I do see, though, now that this is on a... Well, one, I can see that everything's gridded out. But I now notice that it's all labeled, too. It's kind of funny looking at it labeled like this, though, because I instantly can't help but think of Excel or Google Sheets, because it's the top columns that get the letters, and then the rows are numbered. But here, it's reversed. Wow. And, by the way, hello there, TV. We are doing some horticulture. Maybe at some point we'll get some weed, you know, have a good time. I can see I have some mushrooms up there, but I don't know if they're the right kind. And I got some book entries out of my visit. So we've got two. We've got information now about the gilded dendra and the wandering boo. Do not drink the sap of this plant. The lips and veins will turn black as the blood succumbs... Huh? The lips and veins will turn black as the blood succumbs to dendras miasma, a sure and painful way to die. I don't know. This sounds like a pretty goth way to die, with all of your blood turning black. In college, I was friends with a bunch of agriculture majors, and they would tease the horticulture majors for being the weed major. Oh, those wacky plant people. The poison is so potent that even touching the leaves of this plant can be painful. So, you gotta handle the gilded dendra with care, it seems. If I go out to collect it from the wild, I maybe want to put on a pair of gloves first. So, the wandering boo is so called because this fungus can move... It can move slowly in the dark. It has been known to cover distances up to several meters in a single night. You put your plants, your little mushroom guy, into a pot. You give him a little pat and say, "Good night, I'll see you in the morning." You go to sleep in your bed. Night passes, you have some peaceful dreams, you know, thinking about all those plants that you're taking care of. And then you wake up in the morning. You look over to your side table. And you see the wandering boo sitting there with a knife lying next to it. You start sweating. A time-lapse video of multiple boos racing. Maybe you can make profits off of them instead from boo races. I wonder if it will move around on the shelves. Interesting question. I suppose we'll need to get one of these boos to find out. The gills on the underside of this mushroom form beautiful flowing lines. They're also quite hard and sharp, earning this plant the nickname Fingersbane. Oh, don't touch it either. It's got a built-in knife. Marble racing, but with plants. Exactly. Slime, hello, welcome. We're planning some mushroom races later. This is the plant game I saw other streamers play. That's right, and now I'm playing it. Yahoo! Yahoo! If you put a mask on your finger, you can make your own finger banes. There's an idea. Alright, well, now that I've got a little check mark off on this paper, I see I have an archive section. So maybe I can just, yeah, slide it over into there, because now we don't have to worry about that so much. Edward Scissorhands, but with plant leaves. Oh, dang it. Okay. So, we could go out and explore some more. Hang on, I see the light over here on the bells flashing again. We've got another customer guy. Hello, I like your beard. Very stylish. Good morning. Bloody awful weather out there today. Good for the plants, though. Got a letter for you. Good for the plants? Dude, I'm in a greenhouse. I guess it's good for the plants outside, but the ones in here? I still have to manually water all of them. Well, I take the letter. What do we got in here? We're inside my guy. Come on, dude. Enhance. Gosforth is a hateful town. I was beaten and robbed and left to die in the streets. After many days, I was rescued by a kind stranger, just as I had come to fear that wickedness had infected the heart of every soul in that cursed place. I began my recovery in the woods to the south of the town with a group of travelers. On the northeast corner of the wood, I sat and stared at a bright flower, and tears flowed down my face at the reminder that there is beauty in this world. I shall be returning to Undermere soon. Warmest regards, Amos Duncan. I don't know who Duncan is over here, but I like he's just written this letter and he's like, God dang it, Gosforth fucking sucks. Everyone's an asshole. I hate it. But then someone helped him out and they went outside and he was like, look at that flower. Oh, there is beauty in the world. Gosforth almost ruined it for him though, apparently. So, we want... clearing my throat there. So we want to go up to Gosforth, but not directly into Gosforth. Because it has begin my recovery in the woods to the south. And on the northeast corner of those woods has the bright flower. So identify Gosforth, find the woods nearby, and we want to go to the northeast corner of the woods. So I think we could just straight up do that right now, huh? Just have to first find 2 cases if we look around for any wooded areas, and then see if we have a Gosforth around them. Right there, see there's Gosforth. Here's the little wood section, and you said it was up at the... Hang on, because there's technically 2 woods. There's the woods up here and the woods down here. If I pull back out the paper, he does say, begin my recovery in the woods to the south of town, which means not the woods out here on the other side of the mountains, but the ones down here past the plains. And if we want to go up to the northeast corner of the woods, that means we would want, say, this little square. The wood has a calming effect on my mind. It does me good to escape into nature, away from the stench and clamor of Undermere. It is not long before I spy a bright flower among the trees. There it is! We got a new plant, chat! Chat! That's our plant now. Look at it! The plant's name is William now. Welcome to the family, William. Cute plant. Yeah, it's a nice pretty flower even. That's what... Ah! I knocked over my mug. Fortunately, I already drank all of the coffee out of it. So, nothing spilled? We're all good. Put away the map, and now that we got this, see your letter marked, we'll put that in the archives now, too. Phew, crisis averted. I know. That could have been disastrous. It sounded like a cute cup, though. Well, I think it's cute. It's just a mug that has, a print of the Kiss by Gustav Klimt. I love Gustav Klimt and his paintings. They are quite lovely. Though The Kiss is kind of one of the most popular ones by him, so, it's how it goes. Okay. Now, I don't have quite enough wool to explore still, but I would like to go out and grab this dangerous plant, too, before we maybe finish off our day, because I do see, right here, day 1. I don't know exactly how you end the day, or if it's just a natural end to the day. Let's water the plants. Maybe we'll start over here, since we already got some plants. Oop, There we go. Got our will to explore up. We pull out that little letter right here. Dangerous plant grows sparsely in the hills to the northeast of Back Barrow. So we need to identify Back Barrow. Hills to the northeast. Hills. The weather changes fast out in the hills. What started as a gray morning has turned into bright sunshine. A good thing too, because it takes me several hours to find what I came for. By the time I'm done, the cloud is sweeping back over a cloak of unwelcome shade. Don't be ridiculous. Come on. It's dark and spooky. Look at that plant. It's like a grabbing hand with long fingers. New plant acquired. Now, this one's dangerous. So we're going to go ahead and make that one red. A badass looking plant. Does that mean he needs a badass name? He's going to be Spike. Spike, the dangerous plant. We'll put him right there up in the corner. Well, when we actually know what the plants are, we'll give them proper names. We'll actually label them. But for now, that guy's William, that one's Spike. The rest of the plants can remain unnamed, though. Alright, that completes that. Hello there, sir. Welcome to my plant shop. Come on in, come on. Hey, sir. Do you want to try a little bit of Spike? I have no idea how, good at it. Hang on, is he talking about witches? Hang on, what? Something's got those witches in the forest stirred up. They're not letting anyone through. I had to take the long way round, down through Back Barrow. I never did trust that sisterhood. Anyway, I'm here now. I've brought Fennec from the south to trade for some lemon dandy. Hardly worth the trouble when you factor in the extra miles I've had to cover to get here. Caco trying to spike his drink? Amazing. Phil, god dang it. Okay, I feel like we would want to take notes on his commentary here, though. Witches in the forest stirred up. Had to take the long way round down through Back Barrow. Do you think I could try to purposefully go and walk through the witches? Witches in forest. Alt route. Back Barrow. Apparently, there's Fennec in the south. Like, could we go find some Fennec on our own? Could we say no thank you, no trades? I don't know. I like then Phil pulling out his book going, yes, take notes on these plants. Uncle, the plant notebook isn't like that. It is. For me, it is. Plants. Let's see. He wants some lemon dandy. Let me open that up. Alright, lemon dandy. Citrum crispus. Its curled leaves are thought to be the origin of the name of this plant, supposedly referring to a peeled lemon rind. Among several medicinal uses, the flower of the lemon dandy is mostly associated with curing afflictions of the heart. Do you think that one includes a broken heart? Oh jeez. So it kind of has a puffy, fluffy look. That one looks fairly close, right? Because I can see it has the puff at the base of the flower, and then puff in the same manner at the top. If I look through the rest of my plants here, this one isn't that far off either, though. They both have a similar flower plant top shape. What else do we have for plants in here? Anything else that comes close? No, just those two. Another lovesick solving plant. Do you think you could fix the heart if you mix together a lemon dandy then and that love lock? The smell is faintly off-putting, but not overpowering. Blue flowers, light airy scent. Well, since this one describes the leaves as being curled, the curled leaves are thought to be the origin of the name. I would say this one has curled leaves and appears like that lemon rind. This one does not. So this has got to be the lemon dandy, right? Ah! I adjust my glasses. I'm correct. Genius plant whisperer, me. Oh, and see there, he gave us his plant, the fennel. Now we can go ahead and label those to be lemon dandy. What if we fuck up? Good question! I'm not entirely sure. I also like then the idea that the person that is coming here shopping for the plant would see us like, we grab a plant, get a pot in our hands, and we put it down and go, like, yes, this is the lemon dandy. And then the other person's like, dude, are you trying to trick me or something? That ain't a fucking lemon dandy. So the plant person puts down the wrong thing, but then the other guy knows that it's wrong. I don't recall what the full name component was of that plant. Do I even have it here in my book? Fan it. No. I don't. So, I don't remember the first part or if it had part of a name past the Fennet, but now it's just Fennet. Fennet body, was that its full name? I need to re-drag up. There we go. Fennet body. Wink. Next customer. Hello. Hello there, ma'am. My dreams are becoming more vivid. I saw a woman, her face hidden behind a mask, and next to her, a terrifying, black skeletal creature. It stood tall, its roving head scanning the landscape, and though it had no discernible face, I could sense a hint of an expression about its features. It seemed to be laughing, but not the joyous laughter of a child, but sick, horrifying laughter that chilled me like the first breath of winter. Oh, these past weeks have been getting worse. I need sleep. Oh, she wants some forest camphor. I slapped down my book. Forest camphor. Apparently it's a mushroom, so she's gonna get some sleep thanks to the mushroom. Well, he's being mean again. The spooky black skeleton harassing people in their dreams? Huh. Oh my god, Caco, it was the joke of Bennett Foddy. That's not its actual name. Uh-oh. I don't know who Bennett Foddy is. But that's what the plant's name is now. Getting over it, guy? Oh, well, apparently this plant's gotta get over its new name. A spongy mushroom with potent abilities, only safe to consume in small quantities, grants great strength for short periods at the expense of severe fatigue once the effect is worn off. So she's apparently gonna give herself super strength temporarily. That way she just fucking passes out afterwards. Wait, no. This one's the farmer's worry. That is not what she wants. She wants the forest camphor, which is on the right page. Imagine if I accidentally gave her that one. Oops. The strong smelling bulb of this plant has a powerful soporific effect, making it a common ingredient in sleeping draughts. The camphor produces a beautiful, rounded, dark blue cluster made up of many smaller flowers. What? Right there. There we go. See that dark blue cluster? Many flowers. It's pungent, but not unpleasant. The bulb is a soft yellow, and the leaves are waxy. Well, Apparently that's the one she's looking for. Here you go, ma'am. That's it. Oh, and I got a book entry about the Butterdale. Often found growing in clumps on a valley sides, Butterdale has been used for centuries as a cure for all manner of skin rashes. The dark green leaves can be stewed and mulched to form a poultice. The flowers smell buttery to some people. Hey, Chet, does anyone have any skin problems? Pay me some cash money and I can get you some hookups on the Butterdale. Where are my labels? There we go. That one. Forest, Camphor. Gotta smear butter on my skin? Yeah, why don't we skip the step of getting a Butterdale plant and just butter directly onto your skin? Some of the other plants give rashes, so it's handy to keep around. Yeah, do a little bit of a balancing act. Get a rash from the poison ivy, you grab your Butterdale, and you're all good. Got any wandering boo? Oh, that always reminds me of, what's his name? What, that old hermit inventor? Oh, the Wanderer. Anyway, the boo, if you've got it. Well, I'm glad that I learned about the boo earlier when I went over to the library. Which is this guy right over here on the left. So, the only sort of picture that it gives us is the underside of the mushroom. So I suppose we should just gather up all of the mushrooms that we have. Looking around, which is apparently only 2. I don't know what's going on with this one. It looks kind of like stumps with a couple of gnomes hiding in it. Or candles. Candles is pretty straightforward. I like she refers to it as the boo. Hey, you got the boo? It smells strongly of soured milk. Bad enough to make my eyes water. And not as spongy as most mushrooms. In fact, the undersides are somewhat sharp. Red spores protrude from the caps. I'm going to assume then that this is the wandering boo, if the undersides are sharp. Eh? That also then gives us the Lady of Summer. Look at that. Oh, it's like a little skirt with the little legs poking out. Oh, jeez. Don't look up into the inside of this plant, Chet. It's being appropriate. But you are right, Mimi. That is the one I got. William. Apparently William is a Lady of Summer. The leaves curl round delightfully, which, combined with an attractive flower and a hardy nature, make this a sought-after ornamental plant. Aids with conditions of memory deterioration associated with old age. So it's both a plant that is very attractive, very pretty plant, but also helps with your memory. At least they aren't a lady of the night. But wouldn't a lady of the night be more fun? Alright, let me get some labels down. This one over here, we'll put it as purple because it's a slightly suspicious with Wandering Boo. And then our new plant, the William over here, is the Lady of Summer. That's Nightshade! Well, now I've got to get some Nightshade. And apparently that was the end of my day. But before we end it, let's go exploring. Now, the guy made a comment about the witches, right? Well, here I am at Undermere. And he said he had to go around from Backbarrow instead. So does that mean he was, say, avoiding the Grisdale Forest? Or maybe the forest directly here nearby? Maybe this little house right here is the witch hut? I go and investigate the possible witch hut? Nothing! thing? Oh. Witch hut, you say, shrugging your shoulders. Eh? Eh? Well, guess that's it for today. We end it. Ooh. Why is this pack of cards smoking? Is this a pack of cards? It is a pack of cards. Row H, the third river. Wait, I don't know if they're gonna let me keep this card. Because I don't know if I'm dreaming here. Yeah, apparently there was no hunt, Bill. Oh, there was nothing there. Row H, third river. I have no idea if this card only exists in my dreams, because if it does, I'm not going to be able to have this to refer to. Unless it physically manifests. Say, the Wandering Boo here is now on my side table with this little card sitting with it. I think the plants are getting to you if you have dreams like this. It started when she found something. Something that she was not meant to find. A book, tucked away in a forgotten corner of the Ambleside Library. Is this referring to Simone, my friend, that she found this book, or what? Or is it saying I need to go back to the Ambleside Library? I don't know. Day 2, chat. Saturday. Oh, I do get to keep my dream card. Caco is still pickling her brain. Oh, my mind just all about the plants. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and start my day out with exploration then. Fuck the customers. I want to explore. I think if I keep that out. No, I don't want the book. I want exploration. Row H. H. Third river. 1, 2, and 3. Does it match the picture? H. 1, 2, 3. Well, I'm seeing this right here, which doesn't look quite the same as the picture, and I don't know if that is intentional or not. As I'm looking across up at the entirety of the strip of the river. Really all of them. Honestly, this one looks almost closer because of that little islandy bit, but it's not the right shape. Suppose they're not... that it just doesn't exist, right? Unless... no, these are definitely separate rivers. Well, I guess we'll just go ahead and try and exploring the square. Even though the pictures don't match, we'll see then if the picture on the card matters at all. Don't fuck the customers, it's unprofessional. But what if they want to join in? Caco did say that Lady of the Night would be more fun. Dang it. A dead deer in the river. Yellowed bone protruding from matted hide and rotten flesh. Death for one provides for many. I pull a plant out from the deer, I suppose? Wait, I'm squinting at this plant. These look very similar. Their leaves are vastly different. But otherwise, they're not far off. Hang on. I'm going back over to my Lady of Summer description. I'm looking between these plants. Yeah, I would say based upon the top here, how this one is more rounded, but this one's more squared off, I guess they're not quite the same. And it does say the leaves curl around delightfully, which these ones don't do. So definitely different, and I definitely have this one labeled correct. So, whew, imagine if this wasn't actually the Lady of Summer and I gave it to someone like, yeah, this one's the Lady of Summer. And it turns out it was this one. That would be awkward. But they didn't even use the body if it rotted. Hey, Hey, they're still bones, and you can do stuff with deer bones. Come on. Hi, cat. Good morning. We pet the cat. It purrs. Now, we don't have much wool to explore. We could get more if we watered the plants, but now I want to talk to the customers. This wasn't here before. Oh. So, apparently this lady right here is Faye Swift. Faye grew up with her mother. Her father was rarely violent, but once is enough. When he struck her, it finally broke the hold he had over her mother, and she fled in the night. The sleeping Faye held close. Faye often had vivid dreams, but has never considered that other people do not. She came to strange horticulture, seeking relief for her nightmares. Oh, and she also has a chat log. So, if this lady is called the Psychic, and it has given us this chat log with dreams, do you think I could go out on the map and identify something based upon her dreams? This one doesn't have any sort of indication of location though, but... Oh god, she's an empath, but level 2. How far away do you think she is from hitting level 3? Isn't that just what she said when she was in the shop? But she technically, I think, said a little bit more than that. But yeah, that is pretty much what she said in the shop. And that's why it does have it labeled as chat log. But I don't know if maybe that, because obviously we didn't get bios on anybody else. We just did on her. So that means she is more significant than the other people that have come shopping here. Hello there, sir. I like your monocle. Bring me a sample of Apis demissus, and be quick about it. That damn cat is setting off my allergies. Huh, shouldn't have an animal in a shop like this. Apparently, this is another important guy, because he has a little book log too. Burbage is a rich man who inherited a fortune, but never experienced the love of his parents. He expects people to do his bidding and is quick to anger. There are many in Undermere who would be glad to see the back of him, but with wealth comes power, and few would challenge him to his face. Chat, what if we give him some poison? I wonder if anyone would care if we poisoned him. Excuse me, sir. Do you mind if I spike your drink? He deserves it, uncle. That's right, he insulted it. Oh, he insulted our cat. How could he do this? You're doing this place a favor. So he wants Apis demissus, which I think might be a scientific name, so we can't actually look at our contents to find it. Which, by the way, I'm now noticing is alphabetically sorted, so that's useful. But we're going to have just flip through and see, can we find Apis? Aha! He wants the candy root, the Apis demissus. He walked in here, adjusted his monocle, and was like, oh, yes, you, horticulture person. I want the scientifically named Apis demissus. See, I am very sophisticated and knowledgeable, so I'm asking for it based upon it's not the common name, but the scientific name. Dude, you can just say candy root. And a plant with medicinal properties that can aid with digestive troubles when prepared correctly. Care must be taken, however, as the rough leaves can be an irritant. Only the petals are safe for consumption. Yeah, I guess, that this guy does have the runs. And so he's like, can you get me some laxative plant, please? But Gandhi sounds stupid. What, are you gonna refuse to call plants by their common name because you're like, ah, sounds dumb? I love complaining about allergies in a plant shop. What if we just turned him away and said, hey, you insulted my cat and you are complaining about your allergies in a plant shop. You have to get out. So the Gandhi root here is kind of like our... what was it? The Lady of Summer over here, but a little bit smaller. So if we want one, wait, here we go. This one you can see has a rounded top and has a little stick out right there. See that guy? That guy poking out, doing a little tease, kind of like a tongue going, eh. And I don't see anybody else in here that looks quite like that. So I'm going to say that this is the plant we want. Let's give it a little zoom. The leaves are coarse to the touch. And it does describe the leaves as being rough. And then that sounds accurate then. Alright, here's your candy root, sir. Identified, and a new entry. For the meek dew. We're just gonna put that away. Gandhi root. I accidentally typed Gandhi toot. Well, check out the Gandhi toot. That's its name now. If you weren't saying in the first place that Gandhi sounds stupid, now it's got Gandhi and toot. I believe the parts that protrude like that are the stamen. I shrug. It sounds accurate. Would a skeleton reanimated with a living flower inside his ribcage be considered a zombie or a skeleton? I don't know that I have proper scientific knowledge to identify that. Begonia, Darth Vader, Iana. That might sound a little bit dumb. Hellbore. Like Undermere is looking fine in the sunshine today. Here's your mail. Ooh, this means more adventure. Oh, it's Amos Duncan again. There's an old slate mine at Hard Knot that has some interesting looking fungi growing in it. I've never seen anything like them before. They seem to have found a niche in the damp, dark tunnels left by the tramways. Thought you might be interested. Okay. Hard Knot is where we want to look then. I use my will to explore. Where is this Hard Knot? I imagine it's probably... what? It's right there. Wow, it's so simple. Suppose probably just directly on top of it then, where it's giving us the little label. Go explore here. An iron gate, rusted by years of abandonment, sits across the entrance to the tram tunnel. Rusted it may be, but it won't budge. Locked. Chat. Remember that plant we learned about before? That apparently can unlock anything? It's asking us for the clavilium. This guy, right here. Do we have this plant? This one doesn't look like it's accurate because the leaves aren't heart-shaped. So I don't think that would be the clavilium. And as I look through the rest of my shop here, it doesn't really look like any of these guys have got any heart-shaped leaves. So I don't think we can actually... hang on. Flowers are made up of many smaller blue flowers. They smell pleasant. These leaves do look heart-shaped, though the clavilium description does not explain the flower part of it. But I mean, it's not gonna stop us from trying this plant. I hucked the plant pot at the fence. Also, good luck on your shopping, Mimi. Buy lots of stuff. Or nothing. I was right, yes. Yeah, I grabbed the flower and just shove it at the lock and then just like, click. How did I unlock it? Ow, but I did it. Here it is, unlocked. I collect my page. And then I huck it into the book. All right, where'd that plant go? There it is. Wait, not vla. Cla. It's clobilium now. No V's, just B's. Look, I got a little bit. I have a hard time speaking words sometimes. Sometimes clobilium sounds a little bit like clobilium. Oh man, if I made it a W, then this plant could have been the clowillium. Oh jeez. Like the Lady of Summer. And this apparently has a lot of plants up in here. Here I came for a singular mushroom, and look at the collection I got. I got a bunch of mushrooms. I love this green one. It gives it a sort of luminescent quality. And yeah, actually now that I place it down in my shop, look at that. It's got a little bit of a glow to it. This is now the mushroom shelf. See, look at that. Look at all of these mushroom friends up here. Funky fungi. Yeah. They all look extremely toxic. I feel like that's just a little bit of the case with mushrooms in general, maybe. Is that you look over at mushroom and you go, yeah, I think that one's probably dangerous to eat. Time for a taste test. All right, if you want it, Warvoid. I grabbed this stink plant out, smelling strongly of soured milk. I hand it to you, Warvoid. Go on, try it. It might be or might not be toxic. Oh. But hello there, Warvoid. Welcome. Like though Welly just goes over and eats all of them though too. Warvoid's like, yahoo, time for a taste test. Which apparently was what Welly's all about. Those aren't warning colors, they're welcoming colors. Are you saying we should have the red ones instead? Nom nom nom. Oh, tastes like cheese. Soured milk. That checks out. I'm headed to Grisdale Forest, investigating a possible murder there. Can't say I'm looking forward to it. Sisterhood are a secretive lot, and they're not keen to talk to me. Their leader, Yarda, or whatever they call her, she's dead. What? My instinct is they're hiding something. I was hoping that you might have some fox button that would help me win them over. Chat, who did it? Huh? There was a possible murder happening over here. And we were talking about murder during the intro. Chat, fess up. Who killed her? Wait, could we sell pictures of those mushrooms as non-fungible tokens? Comedy. Where were you at the time of murder, Caco? What? I've been here the entire time, Welly. You've been seeing me taking care of these plants. Going on little trip. I start sweating at remembering the fact that I did attempt to visit that witch's hut the other day. Uh-oh. It was me, the only good witch is a dead witch. I feel suspiciously. Is he actually just lying because he wants to take credit for the murder? Alright, the fox button is an offering. An offering of fox button is considered by some to represent a contract of friendship between strangers. Thick, shiny leaves grow in opposing pairs along the stems. I grabbed the fox button plant and I kind of look around shyly, you know, maybe a little bit of blush, and I hold it out towards chat. Huh? I kind of poke my little fingers together. Huh? Chat? Friendship? Oh, jeez. Oh, heck. Alright. So, it's little shiny leaves that are growing in opposite pairs, huh? This one looks kind of like it fits, maybe? But we also have this one that also looks accurate. Maybe a little bit more so, because the the leaves here are very rounded. And that is how these leaves are. Kind of grouping up all the flowers that have those sort of paired leaves along the stems. But it looks like it's only these three. So it describes them as thick as well. We'll start with this one because it looks most accurate to me. It smells of nothing. This one has small leaves, delicate flowers. Blue flowers, stiff leaves. I'm going to take a guess that it's this one because of the leaf shape. I hand him the flower. Is this one it? Oh! It is. Alright, now we know. Box. A button. Another plant identified. I kind of shuffle around my plants here. Like a flower shelf right here. Alright, now it's indicating me over here, but what if I want to go check out those murderers? Dang it, what did he call the forest, though? Did he have a bio at all? I'll look at my bio entries. Oh, he did. Alright, perfect. Grisdale Forest. Got it. I'm looking for the Grisdale Forest on the map, then. Enhance. There's Endmore. White Seer Cave. If we're looking for forest, there it is, the big one, right here, Grisdale Forest. Let's go ahead and use our will to explore. Do you think they're over here at the hut? As soon as I step off the road, two members of the Sisterhood step out and remind me that this is their forest. I'm not welcome here. Oh. Holy shit. Do I die if the Rising Dread hits maximum? I start sweating. We're bummed out now. Don't mind me, just returning to the crime scene. They didn't like it. Ooh. I would like to do more exploration. I'm not sure if I can, say, just wander out freely into the world and find more plants or information. Like, what if we go back over to the Amble side and look at the library again? Are we allowed to do that? Returning to the crime scene? Well, of course. I mean, that's what they call it when you commit a crime and you go back to it, right? I smile, thinking about murder and the Wandering Moo. Huh. There we go. Okay. I want to go to the Amble side again. Where was that? There. I could spend hours trawling the shelves of the library, but unless Simone has something for me, I should get back to the shop. Oh, I can't find find plant books for myself? What the heck, dude? I can't even check a book out from the library. Alright, come on. It's you again. I was able to make out the whispered voices last night with the help of St. John's Poppy. There is a medium using the room, illegally I might add, holding midnight seances for gullible grievers. Is there a plant you know of that I could use to give them a scare and drive them away? I need my sleep. Why, of course, ma'am. It's the Harlequin Blue. When the bushy blue flower heads die back, they release seeds with a downy pappus, which assists in wind dispersal. Once dried and hardened, the stems can be burned as incense. As they burn, they let out high-pitched shrieks, widely believed to be the spirits of dead souls trapped within the plants. Just gonna fucking prank these guys. Oh, you're a medium out here? Tee-hee, let me just slide this plant along, and then like Uncle Phil's demonstrating, what are they gonna hear? Perk up your ears, chat. Ah! That's it. Just a billion of them probably too. Alright, well, I think then, God, I'm looking, that doesn't look that similar. Do I have something that looks a little bit closer than that? Not really. And it describes them as bushy blue flower heads. And this is really more like a purple, yeah? But it's not... I don't know if this is depicting, say, the interior of this flower. But it makes it not quite there. But it's also the closest plant I have. So unless I simply don't have the Harlequin Blue, there's only one way to find out, I guess. Is it gonna be the first wrong one? And finally, the flowers can scream now. They might have no mouth, but they can indeed scream. Oh, that is right. Well, what do you know? Shimmerlung? The dried stem of the shimmerlung burns very brightly and noisily, letting off a near blinding white-purple light. I want some of these. They sound pretty. Harlequin Blue. I like my handwriting when writing cues makes a little bit of a cross right there. Oh, that's right. I've got 100% win rate right now, don't I? Expert plant person over here. That's me. That's why I've got the horticulture job, not you. You may have heard the rumors that our Arda is dead. May Arduina bring her spirit peace. The nature of her death is unusual. The sisterhood does not often look to the outside help, but this is beyond our knowledge. If you show my sisters this letter, they will allow you entry to the forest. To be assured of your discretion, we require that you use Mary's breath to bind yourself to secrecy. Look, we apparently just went to the forest a little bit too early, and now here's a sister coming out to invite us. Beth was born into a loving family, but never felt settled. She sought out a higher purpose when she was still young and left home at 14 to join the Sisterhood of Arduina. The head of the sisterhood, the Arda, took a liking to her and helped her to develop a renewed purpose, caring for the forest and putting her faith in the goddess Arduina. Now her mentor has been murdered and Beth is looking for answers. Is this plant game actually a murder mystery happening over here, or beyond necessarily just murder mystery? This is actually a mystery game? I'll be the witch leader now. Woo! So we'll have to kill Mimi too then, Phil says, looking over at Mimi. Uh-oh. Having a plot with the plants isn't a bad thing? What do you mean? I thought it was... Listen to this music. doesn't it make it seem like it's supposed to just be happy-go-lucky, good, happy times? You know, just raising up plants, giving bouquets to people? Oh, jeez, I've been misled. Plotted. Pants, Phil. Wow. This comedy. Mary's breath, huh? So we've got the wide, waxy leaves allow this plant to collect the large amount of water it requires. It is said that a person can be bound to secrecy using Mary's breath. It used to be grown in the rough gardens, or in the, royal gardens, so that the king could ensure the trust of his confidants, but that practice fell out of favor, except with witches. Where's the witch plant? This one does say smooth, waxy leaves. And they are quite large, like this picture implies, yeah? And looking at my plants again, nothing else quite fits, so, Alright, here you go. No! Uh-oh. Also, hello there, by the way. Ball, welcome. So I suppose we maybe want a plant that's a little bit more veiny. I see. Yeah. The veined leaves have a waxy finish, so this one, then, is more accurate than the other one. Let's try that one. There we go. Well, now we don't have 100% success rate, I guess. I look over at a rising dread and I'm sweating again. I've been lurking? Well, that's quite alright. Plant has been identified, and we've gotten a letter now. First, let me go ahead and label that with the Mary's breath. Stinky. Okay. I've returned, but I need to work on my axolotl hide, so I'll be in and out. Well, I hope the creation of that hide goes well. We have failed in our duty as protectors of the forest. Our secrets have been stolen, and the Arda has been murdered. You will find us deep in the Grisdale Forest, a mile from the lake shore, across from Torver. Please help us. Yours in hope, the Sisterhood of Arduina. Alright, now we can go back to where we were before. Alright, sisters, I hold up my letter. As soon as I step off the road, two members of the Sisterhood step out and remind me that this is their forest. I try showing them the sister's letter, but they tell me I'm in the wrong place and move me along without offering any help. What the hell? Okay, so apparently I'm not quite at the right location. The house, they hate it. They don't want it. They didn't read the instructions. Apparently. Maybe I need a different spot then. Deep a mile from the lakeshore across from Torver. Maybe we're looking over here at this square then instead. That's where they want us to go specifically. I guess I'm gonna have to water my plants again. I look at the map and I go like, nah, wrong location. But I just went outside. I just made that big old trek over to that building. Do I really want to go back out? Well, as I'm standing here watering nice old Spike over here, I do like going out and looking at flowers. Flowers are nice, aren't they? And then my will to explore explodes, and I just head off. Right here. A sister tries to stop me from entering, but I show her the letter, and she lets me through. I'm ushered into a walled courtyard, and then through a large oak door, along a corridor, and down a set of stone stairs into a cool basement. Lying on a table, draped in silk, is the Arda. There's not a mark on her, but her open eyes are black. Her mouth, her veins, her hair, all black as a raven's wing. Do you know what could do this? Asks my escort. I set to work. Oh, chat, remember that goth death poison plant that we learned about earlier? Yeah, apparently it's this one. The goth death. The wren. The long leaves of the wren are known to turn black in the presence of certain poisons, and so can be used to detect them. Though it has no flower, it is said to smell unpleasant to those who have known death and sweet to those who have not. Yeah, so the wren is not the death plant. It's some other one. But this one is just used for identifying poisons. Do I have a wren, though? It has long leaves. I'm looking at my plants up here. This one doesn't look too far off, you see? The cream-colored flowers, they smell wonderful. However, the wren is described as having no flower, so it can't actually be that plant, because it has flower on it. So I'm looking at the rest of my plants, and I do see this one has some long leaves. So what does it describe it? It has a scent that scratches at the back of my throat. And it does say it smells unpleasant to those who have known death. My uncle died. So would that make this plant fitting for it then? By the way, do I have a save option? Doesn't look like it. Looking at the rest of my plants, most of the other ones have flowers on them. I have a lot of flowers. But kind of then makes it that this is the only plant that fits. It sounds useful for when the back of your throat is itchy. And so then you take a sniff of this plant and it scratches at the back of your throat. A throat scratching plant? That only works, however, if you have known death. If you haven't known death, I don't know that this would work. Well, this is the only one that fits the description that I have, so here we go. Oh! I got it. I extract a sample of Arda's blood and introduce it to the wren, and my suspicions are confirmed immediately. The leaves of the wren turn black, which can only mean one thing. Gilded dendra poisoning. See? This is one from one of the books that Simone had shown us. Why use a plant when you can just swallow your whole hand and itch that way? I'm looking at my hand. I don't know. You know when your hand is all constricted and tight, it makes it a little bit hard for your fingers to move? I think if you tried to swallow your hand, it might be a little bit large, and so you might not be able to itch the inside of your throat quite properly. Alright, where are my labels? You're in. Upon presenting my findings, I am rushed away quickly. The sisters do not want me hanging around, it seems. They do, however, send me on my way with a couple of plants, which I am grateful for. Oh, more flowers apparently. These ones have got some big thorns on them, though. Ugh. Where'd my... Ah, there's my letter. Put that in the archives. I don't know why this letter wasn't in the archives. Stick it in there now. A farm YouTuber I watch started doing NFTs. I kind of feel like the reason a non-farmable tuber, an NFT. Dang it, Pyro. But hello, welcome. They even said that NFTs are the future for artists. Like, no, I'd rather buy prints or commissions or something. it feels like maybe a little bit of the reason some people opt to go the route of NFTs is more like they see all of the news articles that are like, look at this person, they made thousands of dollars. And the people look at that money and then sweat and go like, but I want thousands of dollars. And so then look over to the NFTs and are like, haha, these are the future, I swear, and then grab them and start offering them and then hope that they too can make thousands of dollars easy without too much work. I think that's part of the reason people have been getting into NFT so hard, in the same reasoning for crypto, where people were like, holy shit, look how much money you can make off of crypto, and then everyone just wants to make easy money. Anyway, I put my book away. I pet Hellbore. I make plant money. I like money too! Well, I cover my secret NFT collection up. Hello there, Bridges. Welcome. Beanie Babies were the original non-fungible toys. I don't think that counts since they're physical items. Fear of missing out too. I guess that also applies here. Probably also, I could see, you know, crypto was out and people were very hesitant and it took a little bit for cryptos to become popular. And then boom, tons of money made over there that people then with NFTs are now trying to get into it earlier because they're like, but crypto's made a ton of money and people are already starting to make tons of money off of NFTs. I want tons of money too. Money, 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 money. So. Fungible just means it can be replicated. What? So Beanie Babies are fungible? Yeah, you just grab your duplicator. No problem. You. I'm this close to reporting you, half-wit. The last plant you gave me has made my skin itch furiously. I'll have your little shop shut down and torn to the ground if you don't make this right. Oh, jeez. Butterdale or Meekdew? I need to think carefully about which plant to use here. Oh, my actions could have consequences. Chet! This is the time where... Where's my gilded whatever? Huh? Where's my gilded Dendra so I can kill him? Alright, he wants Butterdale or Milkdew. Well, the Butterdale helped out here with the manner of skin rashes. Smells buttery to some people. It sounds fairly, you know, tame. But what about the Meekdew? What does Meekdew do? The beautiful flowers, made up of many smaller florets, make this a sought-after decoration plant, although it is difficult to care for. It may be pleasant-looking plant, but touching the leaves against bare skin will result in painful sores. So is this situation a, hey, we could fuck this guy and give him the wrong thing? Chet? Chet, are we gonna heck this guy? This asshole over here? Or do we act as a proper plant person? I won't tell. Oh, it's time. I don't know. I am looking at this guy right now, and he does seem pretty demonic, pretty evil. And do I want to help out evil, Chet? Just look at him. Look at his little devil horns. He's a villain. I can't help out a villain like this guy. Maybe you should kill this guy instead of the witches. Alright, where's the Meekdew? So it has many smaller florets. Okay, so we want a flowering plant with little tiny baby flowers on it. This one does have many small florets. And we know that one is not it over here with the cobilium. So let's go ahead and enhance this. Small leaves, delicate flowers. This is the only one that has little tiny delicate flowers. It would be useful if it described the color too, but in looking at the little illustration, see the little small center, kind of rounded, vague, like a soft heart. And on the flower here, that is what the flowers appear as well. Right? Right? So I think this should be right. Witches can turn you into a newt. This guy will just complain to your manager. Yeah, come on. What's he gonna do? He might be wealthy, but I don't care. I smile at Isidore Burbage. This one guy, it'll help. I promise. Did I accidentally ring the bell instead of giving him the plant? Okay. Yeah, there it is. It's the Meekdu. Then I'm going to label the Meekdu with purple, since it is a little bit of a dangerous plant with the irritated leaves on it. There we go. Good luck to that guy then, teehee. Alright, give me another card, Duck. Yes. Yes. I can't believe my streamer wants to murder an innocent person. Come on, Phil. I'm not murdering him. I'm just making his skin even more irritated than it was prior. Hey, come on, you saw Uncle. He was a demon. Come on, you saw those red horns poking out of his head? The book both fascinated and terrified her in equal measure. And after studying it for some time, she reached a decision. She would never use the power she had discovered. She would hide the book where it could never be found. But I want the power! Oh. This one's kind of a long description. Or is this several locations to check out? North of Hawk... No, this is probably sort of a triangulation, you know, where it says north of Hawkshed, and then we also need to be east of Lowick, and blah, blah, blah. And that will give us a precise location to explore. Okay. And this time, though, I know that I get to keep my dream cards, as I did previously. Ta-da! See, there's my dream card. Helbor! Helbor, it's morning! Come on, Helbor, wake up! Yeah, there's a good cat. Oh. Should also maybe utilize the magnifier sometimes as well, you know. We pull out plants. Oh, apparently I can't do a double magnification, never mind. Smells faintly of wood smoke. Feels like rough glass paper. Well, we're gonna start off, since my will to explore right now, maximum. Okay. North of Hawkshed. What do you suppose Hawkshed is? I feel like I looked upon it earlier. It would have to be somewhere a little bit more to the south, right? I could even keep my eye out for... See? Right here is Lowick. I have seen Lowick where we have east of Lowick. So if Lowick is here, and we want to go east... That means somewhere below this point will be the Hawkshed. I don't really think I don't feel like I see Hawkshed around. What else does it have? West of Rustland? Do I see a Rustland around here? I mean, I guess it could be anywhere over on this side, Because if it was, say it was T-Bay up here. If I was over in this square right here, technically that's west of Rustland. So if I'm looking directly from Lowick being here, when Hawkshed is actually all the way up here. So that would place the square we're looking for in a very tight two-part right along here. And I do see Rustland right there, which fixes us precisely into this column, 17. And since Hawkshed is right here, it's going to stick us above here. So we're like, right now, E17. And the last one is south of Crinkle Crags. And Crinkle Crags is right there. So if we went one up, we're no longer south of Crinkle Crags. And if we're here again, we would no longer be north of Hawkshed. And we can't move one left because then we are no longer east of Lowick. And moving one right no longer puts us west of Rustland. So we have to be right here at, is that E17? Check, we got it. My eyes are drawn to the silhouette of a grizzled old man standing at the edge of a field. His mind is broken, seemingly beyond repair. Vacant eyes fixate on nothing. A whisper of an expression as my gaze sweeps his face, but only a whisper. He raises his arm and points. I follow his outstretched finger and am surprised to find a cluster of wildflowers growing there, hidden from view. Oh, look at them. How pretty. I like the red on the left flower here. They are very vibrant. I think they're even more vibrant than the St. John's poppy over here. Like, look at that. Oh my god. I think these are the most vibrant flowers we've got in our greenhouse now. Look at that. I love them. I love this one. It's my favorite one now. For a moment, I was going to place it up here, but I can't do that. That's my mushroom shelf. We'll put it over here. Huh. Also, what the heck is this supposed to be? Am I going to have to start doing some decoding later on? We're gonna get secret letters, and we'll have to decode what all the meanings are. Oh, Wilbur Miller. I'm looking for a plant, lady of, what's it? Something or other. Ugh, I'm no green-eyed drayer, that's for sure. My mind isn't at all what it used to be. It's one that's supposed to help with, mental decline? Oh, well, that's easy. We've actually already got that identified. Don't worry. It's right here, the Lady of Summer. Ta-da! Alright, now before I call in my next customer here, an astrological sphincter. Or cipher. I don't know why I misread that as sphincter. But, on that note, you know, speaking of sphincters, I need to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back, chat. Wait? Not that one. Okay. Okay. Alright. Now chat's over here sampling the plants and dying and barfing from it. Oh, come on, chat. Can't just eat all the plants when I'm not here. You'll accidentally eat the dangerous ones. Oh. Yummy. Oh. Archon, get that out of your mouth. I slap his hand and plants fall to the ground. We got hungry. Look, that's why we have snack time later, okay? Come on. My snacks! Those aren't the snacks, Archon. That's my product that I'm selling. Oh. I also see that the Rising Dread over here has reset, so I suppose this is a by-day timer. I guess it's not timer, but meter. So if it fills up maybe during the course of a day, then I die. But if it got, like right here, just very close, almost there, but then I went to sleep and I woke up, it would be fine the next day. Alright then, next customer. Come on in, sir. They're saying the art has been killed. I know a lot of people don't trust that sisterhood, but it seemed to me that the Arda always looked out for the less fortunate. Oh, well, I don't know about that much about the Arda. Come on, Caco. You know, what's a little freebie for a friend? I just want to snack on some goth death. Not the... Archon, are you trying to have yourself a goth death? Oh, jeez. I grabbed the letter. The cold is too much to bear beyond the gap. I was forced to turn back. I would advise against it, but if you are determined to explore Great Gable, be sure to take precautions. Knowing you, I'm sure you'll have a plant up your sleeve that can keep you warm should the weather turn against you. Warmest regards, Amos Duncan. I like the idea that my character, just whenever I go out to go exploring, I just have this backpack on my back that is filled with all of my plants. Heh, warmest regards, a nice one. Yeah, real slick, Amos. So that means we want a warming plant. Do I have a warming plant? I feel like one of the plants that might have come up, winter boar, is a handy plant often found growing in extreme cold environments. Rubbery leaves make an effective insect repellent when applied to the skin. Will we find the winter boar if we go over to explore the Great Gable? Is there anything else that sounds like it would be nice and warming? The brimlock kind of does. Those suffering from hypothermia can be rescued by a draught made using the leaves from the brimlock plant. It has a warming effect that protects against extreme cold. When conditions are just right in the cold of winter, brimlock produces small yellow flowers. The leaves are waxy and tough. So that vaguely resembles this plant, since it does have waxy leaves, but doesn't have any flowers on it. So I don't know that that plant actually fits. But I don't have any other plant that has small yellow flowers on it. Wow, you identified it just by the name! I am an expert plant person. I look nervously between these two plants. I don't know if this one just doesn't have flowers currently because it hasn't, gotten subject to extreme cold. So yeah, and it isn't cold in here right now. So, we go out exploring. Great Gable. And you'd think then, oh, yep, what do you know? I was gonna say, you'd think then that that would be up here in the north, and it is. All the way up there in the north. Look, see, it does want brimlock. I was right. After several hours of arduous hiking and scrambling, I am still some distance from the summit. I am freezing cold and ready to head home. I should do the sensible thing and turn back down the mountain. I look to the camera. Unless... I grab my hopefully Brimlock plant. Oh, hell yeah. I push on, no longer feeling the cold, and am presently rewarded. Chat, when you go mountain climbing on a very cold, tall mountain, why don't people just bring along Brimlock? It's so easy to avoid hypothermia. Where are my labels? Right there. Brimlock. And now I'm gonna get this plant. Now I want to go peek at my entry for the winter boar real quick. I look between the picture here and this plant. This shit is definitely a winter boar. Well? Come on. Who's next? Hello. This plant is cursed. It has brought me nothing but sorrow. Please take it. I want nothing more to do with it. Oh, free plant chat. These kind of look like mushroom balloons. Like this top part of the mushroom is the actual mushroom. Like this is the head here, this is the little stem section, but then it's just on a string. The little handly part of the mushroom balloon. Looks real close to the booze. It does look very close to the booze. Look at that. They can be friends together. Hi there. I swear I'm a wandering boo. Yeah, the fuck right you are. Kick. Wah! Oh, the wandering boo hates me. What am I gonna do? And then just sitting there on the edge as the wandering boo just curls up in the little corner over here alone, is like, yeah, I don't need anybody. Wandering boo, please, open up a little. The other mushrooms would be glad to be your friend. Halvor! Always a pleasure, my feline friend. I hope he hasn't been nibbling the plants again. I look at my plants, sweating nervously. I have a favor to ask. You owe me for the hours I spent digging out the information on those plants. Oh, is this Simone? Oh, it is Simone. Yep, we're up here on top. I've been burning the midnight oil again and could use some common trouse. And I know where to find it. Oops. According to Grayson's herbology, it grows in abundance on red pike. I'll come by the day after tomorrow to collect it. I have business in Sedberg in the meantime. Here, take this. Is this going to be the entry about the plant that she wants? The red pike? Or, no, sorry, the plant that she wants, where it is found at red pike. Common trouse. Alright. Red pike.
I noticed the wandering boo hasn't been wandering around the shelves. It would have been a nice touch.
Well, it is potted. Maybe we should have put wheels on the wandering boo's pot. Then it would have been able to wander around the greenhouse a little bit more easily. Oh, I accidentally skipped over common trouse. Despite being described as common, the trouse can in fact be quite tricky to find. However, it is known to grow in abundance on the slopes of red pike. Nobody knows why. Its leaves have been used for centuries as a balm against eye strain. Maybe I should start reading the plant, or I was at first and then I kind of stopped. Maybe I should keep reading the plant information bits when I get them, because they might give me information on where I can find them, and I might just be able to go straight out and locate it. Since, like, common trouse has a straight up labeled here. Red pike. Where is red pike? There it is. I enjoy a pleasant stroll up the fell. The going is easy, the weather agreeable, and the views are majestic. I do not have to look hard to find what I am after. Ta-da! And then I can just straight up label it. There we go. Common Trouse. Is that like a race car bed, but for plants? With the little race car wheels on it? Oh, hell yeah. Imagine getting a little car pod for your plants. Oh, heck. Oh, jeez. Chat. There's a plant that's called a naked lady, right? Imagine getting a little potted plant and then putting the naked ladies into it. And then you can be like, hey, check out my little race car filled with naked ladies, as you smile at your friend and your friend just kind of puts their head into their hand and shakes their head disappointed in you. And thank you, Cal, for resubscribing for 8 months. Let Distant Cacophony know that you've been subbed for 8 months. Look at that. It's accurate. It's true. Cal, thank you. Appreciated. I feel like a bed-shaped pot may be better for that certain plant. Or if you got a little bathtub-shaped pot, you then could put your naked ladies into that bathtub? Make sure you add plant to your Google search if you're Googling to see what the plant looks like. Yeah, don't just straight up look for naked ladies if you're wanting some plants, chat. You're gonna get very different results. Make sure you add plant to your Google search, but it'd still be bad, Archon. Naked lady plant. Are you saying you'd get inappropriate search results from that? But it's just a plant. I like Kitty's Googled it though too and is like, oh wow, they're actually rather pretty. Aren't all flowers pretty though? Huh. That's not true. Not all flowers are pretty. Alright there, ma'am. Verona Green? But Simone Green. When you work with the occult, I find it pays to uphold a certain image. If you're going to be accused of performing witchcraft anyway, it doesn't hurt to put on a bit of a show every now and then. Let the punchers know what I'm capable of, you know, that sort of thing. Long story short, I may have threatened to turn a small boy into a toad, and the little bugger called my bluff. Oh, don't look at me like that. You know what little boys are like. I can assure you he deserves to be turned into a toad. Anyway, I think a little, display is needed to discourage this sort of behavior in the future. Have you got any shimmerlong? Oh, I remember reading about that entry earlier. Naked ladies are usually pretty? Also true. You want us to help you poison a kid? Why, sure. I love pastel pink flowers and everything pastel pink right now, so I need those flowers. Thanks. I'll package up some seeds. I swear that, you know, sending plants into other countries, very allowed. Countries love it when you do that. I'll go ahead and mail you some. No problem. So the shimmerlong. The dried stem of the shimmerlong burns very brightly and noisily, letting off a near blinding white-purple light. Flowers grow wrapped in large, ridged leaves. Do I have this one? I'm looking at the picture of it. And I'm looking at the plants I have on my shelves. I don't know that I have any shimmerlong. Because if it has flowers grow wrapped in large ridged leaves, I don't really have that many plants that are, well, I'm looking at the picture they have of the Shimmerlung here, and I'm looking at this. That visually, it does not look the same. Faintly, the faint description, flowers grow wrapped in large ridged leaves. If the orange is flowers, and this white section are also leaves, they look ridged. But, again, picture-wise, they look nothing alike. So that can't be right. Because all of the other pictures, you've been able to notice the similarities. Not the case with these two. So, I don't think that's the Shimmerlung. But if I'm looking at the other plants that I have, I should probably at least start separating ones that I have identified. That one's not identified, that one's Spike. And the ones I don't have identified. That way it's easier to kind of weed them. Wait. There it is. I think this is the one. These two we found together. And as we look in closer, it has a pleasing scent. The leaves have stiff ribs. That fits the ridged leaves, right? Picture matching. There we go.
Wait, is the book showing the interior of the flower? I think I see 2 stamen.
Well, all of the pictures that we have seen so far have just been straight up able to be seen on the plant itself. So I don't think any of the illustrations are going to show a very obscured part of the plant. So we shouldn't have to worry about squinting over here at the picture of the Shimmerlung and squinting at a plant like this and going,
are these the same?
Especially now after noticing this guy in my shop here. So they should fit. There we go. Perfect. The one mushroom had an image of the bottom of the mushroom. You know, Phil? You're right. So what I just said about it generally not showing the part of the plant, you see? I'm wrong. Because that one proves it wrong. However, when we enhance with the closer inspection, it does describe the underside as being sharp like that. So, even though we might not visually see it, we were able to identify it via the closer inspection. Also, this candlewood one looks like it has a cross-section. That's true. And, yeah. So, it seems like some of the mushrooms, this says produces a red flower that provides a shielding effect, protecting against all manner of afflictions of the mind. Long, thin stems grow among tall leaves. So, alright, it's true. Some of these plants, pictures, illustrations here do not depict a part of the plant that we can readily see. However, then, I think it's just in a closer inspection where it will describe something that matches up with the unusual part of the illustration, you know? I wonder if that's the bright, wet red one? It does say a red flower that provides a shielding effect. Long, thin stems grow among tall leaves. Those are pretty thin. Those leaves are relatively tall. It could be the candlewood. Spike over here, it also doesn't look terribly distant, as it too is on long, it is on thin stems here. But are the leaves comparatively tall? We'll go ahead and label this tentatively candlewood? Who knows? I'm going to move again all of the plants that I have identified over here. And then the unidentified plants can be over here on the left. Or maybe we should do the reverse and put the unidentified ones over on the right, so that way, because a lot of the people that are coming in are asking for plants that we don't have identified. So then we can more readily look between all of our unidentified plants. Alright, we got that guy. Da-da-da-da-da. Just give me a moment while I do a little bit of organization. That one can go here. This one. Pete is right there. Spike can hang out with Pete. Candlewood, not technically identified. We'll put it on the shelf. Common Trouse over here. Need to start shifting these flowers over here on the left a bit more. Man, it's a lot clearer how much we have identified. Wow. When we actually group them all together. Look at this one. Trying to sneak in here. You haven't been identified. You can't hang out with the people who have. You're over here with the rest of the unknowns. One day you too will become famous, and you can join all the named plants. I'm gonna put the fake labels here all together. Sorry, real labels with Pete, Spike, and Candlewood all together. There we go. Nice and tidy. But I'm gonna keep the mushroom shelf all together on its own there. Alright, who's next? Wait, hang on, I didn't actually label the Shimmerlung. Give me a moment, man. Shimmerlung. And that goes over there.
There is a beautiful plant that I've been looking for all over, but nobody seems to have any. Something? Monk brew? Oh, I'm not sure. I do know that you shouldn't touch the leaves, though.
Oh, I think this lady is looking for that meek dew. Because the meek dew, you weren't supposed to touch the leaves. But it is a very pretty plant. So, no problem, ma'am. Here's your meek dew. What? What? I didn't get anything out of it. Chat, we've been robbed. We got no plant entry.
Pretty plants.
Yeah. Okay, another tarot card reading for the night. She didn't pay! Fuck. You know, I don't think anybody has been paying Phil. What the hell? We only get the satisfaction of helping someone. What? The card's damaged! Time passed. A year. And then another. The book remained hidden, but out of sight did not mean out of mind. The book was what her thoughts settled on when she rested. What she brewed over when she did her chores. What she pictured when she dreamed. How can we afford to live? I don't know. I guess if we own the shop, we don't have to pay any money, like rent or anything, right? Maybe some property tax? And I suppose since I'm growing plants in here, if any of these mushrooms, say, are edible, maybe I just eat mushrooms all the time? This is an unusual card, though. All we have is this little X, and nothing around it. If I go over here and look... Oh, well, that doesn't help. I put that away. Let me pull out my map. The cat brings home the rats! Kidding! You're a genius! That's probably another way that we are providing food. Maybe we make ourselves some mushroom rat soup at night? You know? We get some meat provided by cat. We get mushrooms provided by me. Okay, hang on. Do you see the way it tears here at the bottom? And do you see some of the way that the rivers are shaped? What if this kind of lined up with the shape of a river? Do you think that'll... Oops. Hang on, let me do a will to explore. That'll fix everything in place better. Yeah, okay. Do you think that would match up somewhere? Also, hello there, Melody. Welcome. Is this a comfy plant stream? It will be, as long as you don't eat any of my dangerous plants in here. Then it can stay nice and comfortable. Hang on, you see? Look at that. Notice how the tear lines perfectly up with the coast here? Right here. At 6N. I got it. Here it is. Wow. Smart streamer pod. That's right. I put on my genius cap. The gentle sound of flowing water. The sunlight through scattered clouds. Oh, a reset. What a nice way to start off the morning. And look at the plants that I got. Little puffballs. Oh. I pluck off one of the plants, little flowers, and I stick it on my nose. Look, I'm a plant clown. It's too late. I already ate all of the plants like a feral animal. Melody, no! I've got dangerous plants in here. Do you see this one? Spike? I don't know what it is, but it's dangerous. Quick, cough them up. No! Melody's doomed. Hi there, Reuben. Welcome back. Ugh, the fox button was no help, I'm afraid. The sisterhood still refused to speak openly with me. Not that I have the time to pursue it properly. I'm rushed off my feet this week. There's been a body found up at the Swinside Stone Circle, and apparently it's a grisly one. Don't suppose you've got anything to help keep my lunch down? Hang on. Swin Stone? Circle. Swinstone. Swinside. I'm combining them together on accident. Swinside, Stone, Circle. Maybe we're gonna do a little bit of investigating ourselves. My stomach's never coped too well with the grizzly ones. He wants some fennel. Well, we have gotten the fennel identified earlier, so let me just head over to my plants over here. This shit is definitely a winter boar. Oh yeah. There we go. There's the fennel. Here you go, my guy. Ta-da! The fennel body. That's right. Wait. Are we getting repeats of plants? No. We knew what this fennel was because we had a guy that came in and was like, hey, I'll trade you a fennel if you give me this plant that you have. And that's why we already knew. But yes, the customers are repeats, so that is true. Witch fig? A plant that is said to have many uses, including easing the symptoms of infection, soaking up moisture, and detecting the presence of certain compounds. It is also well liked by butterflies. It has similar leaves to the fever kiss plant, which it is often confused with. So instead of wasps, witches make this fig. You know, there is a rude gesture that's called, like, giving the fig. And the idea of it is that it looks a little bit like, women's genitalia? Like, vagina over there, you know? Vulva? And, I'm looking over here at the witch fig. Is this supposed to be kind of like, inappropriate witch parts, huh? Lewd? I'm scandalized. It's like, they're like mushrooms, right? Except with cocks over there. Why are plants so inappropriate? I can't believe this. I'm scandalized. I'm shocked. Plants are so lewd! Hey, I'm back and I hear mushroom with cocks. It's all caca and vagoos. Scandal. Scandal, shock, and awe. No. Do we need to explore? I don't think we... Wait, yes, I wanted to see if I could go check out that Swinside Stone Circle. Now, is Swinside on the map here? Everything else has been so far. There it is. See, Swinside Stone Circle. I go to check out the grisly murder. I shudder at the thought of what happened here. If these stones could tell us what they saw. A chill comes over me and I realize I do not want to linger. What if we could talk to the plants here, though? Oops. Alright, maybe I shouldn't go to any murder sites, because it just makes me feel awful. Photosynthesis is superlude because they are naked. You put your naked ladies in their little plant pot bed outside, where they get, they work on photosynthesizing. Morning. Verona Green handed me this for you. She seemed in a good mood. Nude sunbathing. Holy shit. That gave me a lot of will to explore. I meant to tell you this yesterday, but it slipped my mind. I discovered a plant on a recent trip to Grisdale Forest, just northeast of Rusland. It was like nothing I've ever seen before. I would have brought it back with me if the Sisterhood had given me a moment alone, but they seemed overly protective lately. Am I going to actually even be able to make it over here if it's over in the Grisland Forest? I guess we'll find out. Here's Rustland, just northeast. If she says just northeast, I'm going to assume it's just directly right here. So we'll try out that. From the moment I step off the road, I can't shake the feeling I'm being watched. Suddenly, I find my way blocked by 3 women wearing green cloaks and holding short elm bows. Nobody may wander freely throughout the forest by order of the Arda, says the leader of the trio. I turn to walk back, but then again, I have a few, plant tricks up my sleeve, Like just 3 women wearing green cloaks with bows. A bunch of elves jumped me. If you own naked ladies, does that make you a plant pimp? Hell. I guess it kinda does, huh? Now I'm curious, what other plant would you bring them over to? Or, you have your naked ladies, you, the plant pimp, as you put your plants out on the patio. That way a couple of bees can go... come down for some pollinating. I remember watching a traveler's guide for Americans to Sweden, and they highlight that children should not hold our old bills since it had a bee pollinating plant on it. How lewd. Okay, so we want Mellow Glow. Next page, there it is. The Mellow Glow. Among other uses for this plant, the most remarkable is that it can allow a person to pass unnoticed. Though not invisible, it is possible to become hidden from sight and memory. The Mellow Glow has sharp thorns that protect it from predators. What? Chet, I had no idea plants were so powerful. We've got a plant that prevents hypothermia. We've got this Mellow Glow plant that makes you essentially invisible. Chet, I'm gonna go into horticulture. Like, look at these plants. Like, you can get away with murder with them, huh? Come to Willy Wonka's flamboyant flower shop. Have a good day with a daisy, or a pleasant night with a nightshade. Oh, lewd. Okay, so clearly this one right here is the Mellow Glow. You know, sharp thorns over here. It doesn't describe the flower part at all, but there is no other plant that I have that has thorns like this. So, that's pretty simple. And so we learn about the Camellia, a rare plant that is believed to help the dead find peace in the afterlife. Those who can afford it place wreaths made from it at the graves of their loved ones. Camellia flowers almost always contain 6 petals. Finding a 7-petaled flower is considered to bring good fortune, kind of like a 4-leaf clover. Okay, then we just want to label that. That is the Mellow Glow. And now you're over there. like describing a goddamn nightshade as just a nice evening potato. Gee whiz. With the help of the mellow glow, I walk right past the sisters without them paying me any heed. Chuckling to myself, I collect the plant that Rona talked about and take my leave. Oh! They're like little raspberries. Does she say what kind of plant it is? No, just that she saw that plant, was like, oh, that's cool, and then walked off. Well, here it is now. Okay. Hi there, Faye. Oh, she's a psychic. I'm afraid. The camphor you gave me is helping me sleep, and I'm very grateful for it. The visions are as strong as ever. The woman in the jade mask appears in my dreams every night. She screams at me, but I do not know why, and behind her, the presence is always there, dark and dreadful. Oop, I don't know what to do. Dreams feel like a warning that I don't understand, a mosaic of color that refuses to come into focus. Some part of me wants to stare down that abyss, but I'm afraid. We kill her. I laugh while invisible, confusing the sisters. Yeah, like that I walk past them with my thorny plant, and I'm like, oh, 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 oh. And the sisters are all standing over there sweating now, and like, you hear that laughing? Yeah? Where's it coming from? Yo, raspberries though? I pluck one off for you, Melody. The bulb is quite firm and turquoise in color. The orange fruits have no noticeable odor. Or, not order, odor. I give you one. I take one and I will eat one too. I hope they're not poisonous. So we can give her 2 plants. Don't kill this lady too. Look, we didn't kill the other guy in the first place. That was not a deadly plant that we gave him. It was just, you know, uncomfortable. So we can give her Aguria or Candlewood. So if we look over here at Aguria, when burned, incense made from the woody stem can enhance psychic abilities, strengthening the clarity of visions and prophecies. Light blue flowers, like rounded tufts of gentle lamb's wool, characterize this plant. Well, that pretty clearly makes this one the Aguria, since they've got light blue flowers and they're like little rounded tufts of lamb's wool. So I'm going to go ahead and label this one as Aguria right now. And now we're going to swap over to see what Candlewood does. Produces a red flower that provides a shielding effect, protecting against all manner of afflictions of the mind. So, our 2 options are pretty much to not allow her visions, or to say, yeah, welcome that, come on. Chat. Do we help the psychic embrace her psychic abilities? Or do we say, no, the mind is spooky, get rid of it? I say we enhance the psychic abilities. I mean, if you happen to be a person that has managed to get gifted with psychic abilities, why would you turn around and say no, right? Come on. It's rare. You'll drive her insane. I mean, that might be beneficial to me. She might give me some more information about her dreams that could be some prophecies. We go back over to the Aguria. Faye, embrace your gift. You know, it looks kind of funny watching her then disappear into the shadows. What if it is just a gas leak? You think it's a good idea if it is a gas leak that she's lighting plants on fire? Because this one is saying when burned. Am I going to have just accidentally caused her to blow up her house? That's not good. Worry less. Worry less is an aptly named plant. Inhaling the smell of flowers is said to help ease the symptoms of anxiety. Chat, I should have given the worry less to that lady too. I should have picked a couple of leaves off of it and said, hey, I know you're worrying about this. Don't worry, I'm going to go ahead and enhance your psychic abilities and simultaneously give you less anxiety about that. Anyone can use that plant. Literal copium. Maybe both. Maybe both cases. Some literal copium right here. And maybe everybody could use some of it. Well, now that we know what Aguria is, we're going to go ahead and drop that on my gnome plant shelves. And I have no idea if it's beneficial at all to explore. If I don't specifically know something that I want to explore, maybe we should start checking out some of these other cities, perhaps. Like, I'm kind of wondering if I should go over to a castle. Maybe not that. Have I been to Rustland? We go and check out Rustland. A church looms before me. Its cold stone walls and stained glass windows seem both inviting and off-putting in equal measure. An eerie silence seems to surround this place, but there is little else of interest. Can you go to Undermere? We probably could, but Undermere is where we live as well. It is true, so I don't know if going to Undermere will yield any benefit, but there is only one way to find out. So maybe we'll go ahead and harvest up some wool to explore real quick. I know, that's why I'm asking. Well, Phil, we're gonna find out what happens if we explore Undermere, Huh? Give our mushrooms a nice watering. Make it so that I actually want to leave my greenhouse. You know, it has been then raining for 4 days in a row. Kinda stinky. Alright, Undermere. Streets of Undermere are narrow. Up. It gives me the exact same description we got at the start of the game. So, that's it. That's what happens when you explore Undermere. You get the game's intro. But, what if we explored other parts of the town? Since we explicitly explored the square with the Undermere, what happens if we go onto one of the town squares? We'll try that later. When this lady was approaching, I thought this part of her chin area was her neck. Apparently not.
You don't come to Undermere often, but I heard about your shop, and I said to Francis we simply must pay a visit. It's a wonderful breath of life in an otherwise dreary town. I'm the green-fingered one, and it's not really his cup of tea, but I persuaded him the trip would do him good. And besides, he'll be wanting to take a boat out on the lake. Shame about this awful weather, though. You must come to Sizerg. We have a small library with some books on plants that my grandfather acquired many years ago. I'm sure that they will be of interest to a horticulturist like yourself.
I think she's giving us a letter to give us the directions to Sizerg. So I wonder what'll happen. That letter just going to... Yeah, she just has wandered in.
You're cordially invited to Sizerg Castle.
Oh, hell yeah. We are exploring now. Alright, Sizerg Castle. So then we want like a little picture of a castle, kind of like the Ergmont one. But the Ergmont one is not the right castle. There's a tower there. We've got Giant Muncaster Castle over here. Do you think I could go visit the Sea Dragon right here? Do you think that's an option? Aha! There's Sizerg Castle. Oh, a fellow flora freak. Welly, that just sounds mean. Oh, I can't believe this. I am greeted enthusiastically by Lady Elsbeth herself. She is very talkative and has many questions on horticulture that I do my best to answer as she takes me on a tour of the gardens.
Oh, you must take a sample of this back with you, she exclaims,
pointing out a plant that I do not recognize. But before I can stop to take a look, she has already whisked me on to the next.
And this one too, she says.
I am quite exhausted by the time we make it to the library, and I don't have any time to make as thorough a study as I would like. Nevertheless, I am able to find an interesting entry that I note down.
Don't forget these,
Lady Elsbeth cries as I make leave. She thrusts the plants from the gardens into my hands, and I thank her warmly. Oh look, now we've got information on the fever kiss. I love these. These yellow bell ones with the black leaf parts. Alright, that in the archives. Wow, those do look like skirts. Yeah. The leaves seem to have a mind of their own. Do they? The leaves just... Are they flicking around all over the place, doing what they want? Well. Hello. Mushrooms. Red spores. Moves in the dark. That's all I've got. Any ideas? Oh, why yes, the Wandering Boo. We already know about that one because we read the description. I was like, yeah, it moves around. There we go. Well, that guy was easy to please. Oh, and look at that. Hello there, Pope. Hey, welcome. I hope your stream went nicely. I hope your bot didn't rebel again. It might have. I don't know. But hello. Hey, welcome. We're just taking care of some plants over here. Secretly killing... sorry. Not secretly killing anyone, I swear. It did, but I got it working again. Oh, excellent job. Bot. Repaired. Alright, Selena.
They're saying Black Comb is haunted now. Bradley Miller told me he saw the ghost of a huge deer, antlers and all. But then Bradley Miller also says he can talk to squirrels. Either way, there's something evil in them hills, and I'm not taking any chances. Off of what happened to that poor young man at Swinside, I've come for some stinking Mount Cat.
This seems like a weird sequence of events. And now I want to go check out Black Comb. I'm writing it down. We're gonna go over there and get some more Rising Dread as a result. Yahoo! Finally got a channel points reward that was breaking hearts work by realizing I needed the broadcaster ID and moderator ID to both be mine. I was very upset about how simple the fix was for that. It feels like the case sometimes when you're trying to work out a problem and you think it's something complex and wild, when in actuality, it was entirely simple the entire time and you were just overthinking it. Overthinking strikes again. I like the idea of like, hang on, I need to go check out Black Comb, and I pull out my map and I take a little trip as this lady just stands here waiting for her plant that she wants. Sunset Mount Camp. The Sunset Mount Camp is a type of fungus with domed caps, sometimes called the stinking Mount Cat as a result of its unpleasant odor. It is thought to deter unwanted souls and spirits from entering the home and is often placed in doorways. It is mildly toxic to humans and should not be eaten. Well, what? I think it's this one then, because the cap is domed on it, and it does smell stinky. So, let's try sliding this one over to her then. It does fit too, if it is called Sunset Mount Trap, color-wise, if you think of it like that. Yep, there we go. So, we are learning about then the henchuck. The fruit of the henchuck can have startling effects on memory. Even a small dose can result in short-term memory loss, but in larger amounts, it has been known to cause severe amnesia. The tuberous bulb has an unusual structure, growing in bursts that give it a striped appearance when cut open. When the outer layer hardens and turns blue-green, it is ready to harvest. So, if we needed to wipe anyone's memories about, murder, we just need some henchuck. Who knew allowing people to change the chat room settings for things like follower only and sub only mode was so difficult to do? Woo! Alright. Put that away. Pull out my labels. That means since this one is mildly toxic. What was the specific name? Sunset Mount Trap. I'm gonna call it the Sunset Mount Trap. Stinky in all caps. That means it gets to go over next to the Wandering Boo since it is now labeled. Is it the Mount Cap? Oh, I was reading it as Trap. That looks like an R to me. Huh. Well, it's the Sunset Mount Trap now. Mouse Trap. That would be better. Now, let's see. We're gonna go over... Oh, wow, my cursor's right on top of it over here at Blackcomb. Are you ready to see how haunted it is over here? I want to see some ghosts. I see a pit full of skulls, some deer, fox, badger, and some human. I wish I had not come. What? I don't know what you mean. I love exploration and seeing corpses. As I get more rising dread. See, this is why I did it here at the end of the day. Well, I literally just learned about it, so it technically would be forced end of the day anyway. But it's all going to be reset anywho, so it's fine. It's fine. Visited so many corpses and murder scenes so far. Yeah. At 15, her mother, strong, dependable, loving, was struck down by typhoid. The girl drew inward as her father turned to drink. Oh. Well. The girl is gonna end up going back to that book and attempting to resurrect her mother, right? End up with zombie mom. She lives alone in the castle to the northwest of the abbey. She buried her husband 3 miles to the east where the Everheart grows. So that's going to relate to... Wait, no, I don't know if that necessarily relates to 1 square. There was the distance meter that was on the map that shows you how much 1 grid square is worth. Let's take a look. Okay. So, down here when I look at miles, yeah, you can see each grid square is indeed 1 mile. So, if she has buried her husband somewhere, first a castle and abbey. I do see all the way up here, we've got a castle as well as an abbey. Is there any other abbeys around on the map? Though it would be a 2-part case with something like, say, the Glaiston Castle. It doesn't have any abbeys around it, so you know that is not accurate. This castle over here, no abbeys around it. Shouldn't be that one either. And I think that might, if it isn't the only abbey, it is at least one of the only ones that's right next to a castle. Call it a mombi. Rip. Or unrip, because now it is not a resting corpse, but an undead mombi. Yeah, and the way that it describes it, she lives alone in the castle to the northwest of the abbey. This castle is indeed to the northwest. so she buried her husband 3 miles to the east where the Everheart grows. So if she lives in the castle, we start from here and go 3 squares to the east. 1, 2, 3. And that should be where the Everheart grows. A dead tree, its bark cracked and blackened by fire, stands alone on the hillside. Off to one side, a patch of flowers grows on a low mound. Which means this one is the Everheart? Drawer. And labels. That one was the one we just got. Everheart. Does it smell? No. I was gonna say, does it smell good though? I have no idea if it smells good because it just describes this as pink flowers. I do like the base of it here though, because it kind of reminds me of a Jack and the Beanstalk style rendition. Because whenever people draw pictures or there's art of Jack and the Beanstalk, it tends to be this thick vine with a lot weaving together and then big leaves coming off. And that's pretty much how this looks. I do like, though, that description, yeah, all it has is pink flowers. Like, I couldn't see that myself. Though, I guess you could say colorblind. If you were colorblind, that might make it harder to see the pink flowers. Though that would also make it maybe... No, that would be useful, because if the book describes something as like, it has pink flowers. And so then you would look at this and it would say, hey, this has pink flowers too. You then could use that as a method to identify the plant, rather than just your actual color vision, you know? I don't know if they do that consistently or not, or if that is just something I was able to notice or think about at this time. Regardless. Customer! Next! Oh! We're gonna find out about her psychic visions. What have you done to me? I see the woman in the jade mask everywhere, and that creature that stands over her shoulder. I can almost feel like I can sense its desires. It is afraid of the sisterhood. That much is clear. It lay waste to them. It will lay waste to them. So much death, but can be avoided with Arduino's protection. I do not know if I am awake or asleep even now. I feel the darkness tearing at my mind. Hey! Guess what I made the suggestion of earlier? And I was like, you know, maybe we should have given her some worry less along with the plant. And look, now she's coming back for it. We got answers, but at the cost of her sanity. Don't worry, we're gonna fix it. It's easy, just give her this plant. Worry less, inhaling the smell of the flowers is said to help ease symptoms of anxiety. So, worry less has sort of a little bulb shape here with the long rounded leaves coming off of it. And it has some flowers as well. So, I don't think it's, well, wait, hang on, this is labeled. It's not that one. I'm pulling away these flowers that are not identified, and I shuffle over to my non-identified flowers. These are the ones that we're interested in. These ones have sort of a faint shape, but they don't have that center vein through the middle. These ones aren't flowers. These ones have the wrong leaf shape. Those are berries. This one's potential. It does, I don't know that they're quite long enough, leaf-wise. Feel the same about this one. It doesn't have any veining on it, so I don't know if it would be that. This one, though, the Worry Less, it has long, rounded leaves, has a little vein in the middle. Spike kind of has that too, but it also describes Spike when we got this plant that it said that Spike was dangerous, so I don't think it's gonna be Spike. Potential candlewood would not be accurate. So, this one doesn't have the right type of leaf shape. This one vaguely did, so we'll shuffle this one over here in the group. So it seems like it's maybe one of these. So, the way it describes it again is inhaling the smell of the flowers is said to help ease symptoms. So, we'll go ahead and give these some closer inspections and see if they comment at all about some smells. And remember, you can zoom in, That's true. Even with this magnifying glass. But, you know, I was just starting the overall look to group together what flowers seem like they can kind of fit with this description. I think I said spike is dangerous. I don't know if the game did. The game did. Because in our archives, we got it from dangerous plant grows sparsely in the hills to the northeast of Back Barrow. It straight up called the plant dangerous. So, the game did indeed call it dangerous. And that's why we had called it spike. Because of the danger. So, dark blue flowers smells like sweet rhubarb. Cream-colored flowers, they smell wonderful. Though I don't know, hang on, the way that they're coming off of this shape right here, you see that little bulge? I can see this spot has a little bulge to it too, and there is a leaf coming off of it. So this one right here seems pretty potential. We're gonna go ahead and move that one out front because it seems more likely. As an issue with, say, this kind of purpley indigo flower, it doesn't have any veins on the leaves. This one says the plant has kind of an unpleasant scent. I can't imagine that smelling a stinky plant is gonna make you feel less anxious. Last one. It has a sweet scent like a strawberry dipped in honey. I could see that fitting with not so anxiety inducing. However, it doesn't have the veins. So between these four, this one looks like it's the closest. So we'll go ahead and try that one. And thus, chat, I pluck off one of the worryless flowers. Chat, who wants some anxiety help? I throw it off in the direction of chat. Go wild. Maybe we should have just put it in a vase in the middle of the room, huh? Then everybody could have enjoyed the scent of it. Who wants to huff some copium? Oh boy. Up heart. Inhaling smoke for the burning, the dried leaves of this plant can provide pain relief. Firm leaves grow up the stems, leading to blue flowers. I feel like I have that plant. I think it might have been this one, Pete, up here, honestly. Since it describes as stiff leaves. And looking at the flower part, it does look like it match. So I think Pete might actually be Hop Heart. Hop Heart? Pete in parentheses. Don't worry, he's maintaining his Pete name. All is good. This one over here also needs its label now with Worry Less, and it can join the popular kids. All of the labeled plants. Maintaining his Pete-ness. That's correct. I met a strange man on the road to Sedberg not 2 days ago. Stranger still as he asked after you. He said he had something for you, but don't ask me what. So I told him where to find you, but he looked stricken when I mentioned Undermere. Said he doesn't come near towns at all if he can help it. He was headed west. Well, at least I think he was. He said he was looking for the Windstir Spring. I'll write this down for you. But why, thank you, Simone. Anyway, that's my news. Did you manage to find the plant I wanted? I did. Let me go ahead and just grab it for you. There you go. And we also get the note along with it. With finding wherever the hell that guy's at. Is it the hermit mentioned before? I would say probably. Alright, Sedberg was out over here. He's heading west from Sedberg, you know, along this route right here. Possibly near to the source of the river Winster? I'm looking at the river's names. This one's Kent. This one's a river spirit. Nether Kent. And all the way down here is the river Winster. So if it says near to the source, maybe right here? No, that is not it. You could try maybe going down a map. I don't know. That's the mouth? Does that not count as the source? I guess we have to go down to the lake part itself, maybe? Now we're gonna have to go ahead and water some plants so I have the will to explore again. The disappointment in not finding that guy was too much. I have no will again. Going out on these long trips does take a lot out of me. The mouth is the opposite of the source. Well, the mouth of the river is like where the water is coming from, right? That's the mouth. It's coming from large lake area, i.e. the wrong end. Is the source then all the way at the top of the river? So is it not really quote-unquote the end of the river, but more like the start of the river? Oh, well, I was thinking of it backwards then. Oops. Wonder if I could put... No, I can't put my watering can in my drawer. Okay. That makes more sense location-wise anyway, because then it's a lot more close to the west. You know, straight west, one down, and there it is. Ah, alright. The hermit's camp is easy to find, nestled between two boulders above the spring. The cool remains of a fire, ringed by stones, is the only immediate sign that anyone was here. I call out, but there is no reply. The hermit is not here. More thorough search of the campsite yields something interesting. Tucked off to the side, I discover some broken pieces of wood arranged on the floor. Down 2, right 3. I look back over at my map. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So right here, we want to go southwest of Sizerg Castle, or northeast of Whitbarrow. That's going to be where we want to explore now. Wait, actually, I guess it did instantly give us the maximum amount. So right here, we check out. The camp at the Winster Spring has led me to another camp of sorts where I am greeted by an eccentric man. Oh, yes, yes! The man says, "You must take this. Take it. Take it!" At his insistence, I receive the looking glass that he thrusts into my hands. He places an envelope delicately on top. It's no use to me anymore. No use. Oh, don't forget the red. The red. Oh, ebony. I am sure that he is quite mad. Is there some indication of somewhere called the red ebony? I recall the red pike. Is red ebony a plant? Santa? Oh, that's Santa. What the hell is this? Huh? Alright. Oh, it's a description of what this thing is. It is said that the red ebony plant has the properties of uncovering that which is hidden or secret. I have perfected a device designed to use extract from the plant to in concert with a viewing window in order to permit the user to see magics otherwise invisible to the naked eye. So apparently we got a magic detector. However, I need red ebony to add to this, huh? Yeah, apparently secret. Come on, the guy's crazy. He doesn't have the best spelling, you know? Well, do I have information on the red ebony in my book? Red? R. I don't know what the red ebony is. Unless we do know what the red ebony is, but he's calling it something different. Kind of like the plant we got before, the sunset. The sunset mound cap. Because it said it was sometimes called the stinking mound cap. Is that the case with one of the other plants? I would think at least it would have to relate to some type of red plant, right? Like if it was mushrooms here. Plant pseudonyms. Or pseudonyms. Yeah. I don't know that any of the plants, though, other than the one that, the wren that made the comment about being able to detect poisons, I don't know that I've had a plant that said it has been able to detect, you know, magic. Nothing that's given any indication of that. Though here's a Storian, the dark red fruits should not be ingested under any circumstances as they are highly poisonous, resulting in insanity and then death. A cross-section of the stem shows the distinctive triple xylem and phloem of the Storian. Like, what if this guy ate some of the Storium here? And went a little insane as a result, and now he's going to go die, but he was referring to it as red Albany. I'm curious now. A cross-section of the stem shows the distinctive triple xylem and phloem of the Storian. So this is a cross-section, so we want dark red fruits. We want dark red fruits. And all we see is the cross section here, where it's saying the triple.
Do we want it? Seems like something we should avoid.
Well, we need to put the red ebony inside of this plant searcher, though. I grab Spike. Well, apparently, Spike is not the right plant. Well, I guess that answers that. We could... I don't know if it's ever going to give us and tell us what the red ebony is. Or, you know, like if it is straight up called red ebony. Or if we have to kind of assume what the red ebony is, because that guy was actually just calling it by an alternative name. I'm not entirely sure. Archive that, and I suppose then we'll go ahead and keep a hold of this letter and see if we'll find out more information about the red ebony a little bit later on. I put this down directly on top of this ring. I'm suspicious now. Do you see that? How the way the outline is on this stain? Spooky. Oh wait, I don't want to explore right now. Go back! Alright, customer!
Conrad Stanway!
I am not long for this world, and I have decided that I want to be buried in a grave decorated with the rare and beautiful camellia, like a Dreyer huntsman with their drantheme-covered tomes. Well, he wants camellia, huh? That's this one right here with the pretty six-petaled flower. A rare plant that is believed to help the dead find peace in afterlife. They almost always contain 6 petals. So, we're gonna have to just look at our plants and count how many flowers they... Wait. I'm looking at this guy. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Flower. Perfectly matching up with this drawing description of it. So, it looks like this one's the camellia. There you go, sir. That one makes us a lot of money since it was a rare plant, Chet. We're in the big bucks now. We also are learning about the eyebright. Take care not to touch its brightly colored thorns. They will do no lasting damage, but they contain a small amount of a venom that will cause severe pain for several days after. A plant that only grows to the south in warmer climates where they call it loathe after a long dead king. Known to improve eyesight at night, in even the darkest places. See, chat? I'm pointing right here. This is an alternative name. That's part of why I'm now concerned about the Red Ebony being an alternative name. I'm gonna call this one the Camellia. And just put it over here with the rest of my labeled plants, as always. Gonna lurk and watch from the bathtub? Alright, kitty, I hope you have a lovely bath. As we call in our next customer. Uh-oh. The cat does not like them. Your reputation is growing, horticulturist. I hear you are the person to come to for plants that are difficult to acquire. My head feels like it is being torn in two lately. I'm looking for some hop heart. Hey. Hey. I'm pretty sure that's Pete. Not the hedgehog. Hop heart. Yep, we've got firm leaves, blue flowers, and I guess this is just going to confirm if Pete is indeed the hop heart. Oh, it is. See? Look at that. Hey. Copper Caledonian. This plant has a rejuvenation effect, but most who have tried to benefit from its properties have come to realize that it is a curse, not a blessing. Though you may appear younger, you will quickly become more frail and brittle. The red spores that are often seen growing on it are in fact a type of fungus themselves and not a part of the plant. So if I'm looking at this picture, the way it had that shown, and the way it has mushroom-like plant with red spores growing on it, it sounds like that is this plant. However, I accidentally kind of closed the book. Which one were we just looking at? Copper. There we go. Copper Caledonian. Where are my labels? Copper Caledonian? Fungi often feeds on fungi. They just eat each other. Oh, jeez. I should probably move Stinky over here. And hello there, subject name missing. Welcome. I like when that other lady with a mask wandered in. Phil over here is just like looking, getting mad. I can't believe this. Or the witch. Come on, you don't have to be mad at every witch that comes in. Oh, jeez. Wonder if it's worth exploring anywhere out here. I wonder that every time. There's so much area out here. Do I only want to check places out if I know information about them or what? I feel like I learned about this before in college. I'm gonna look at my old notes. Subject name missing. Thinking to days of horticulture too. Wow. I must. Witches be crazy? Aw, jeez. Oh, heck, you're gonna make the witches cry. Reuben Ward has called on my unique expertise to aid in his investigation at the Swinside Stone Circle. Unique expertise. He knows how to flatter an old woman when you want something. I thought about telling him to suck an egg. I gave it a long thought, actually, but my curiosity has gotten the better of me. He must be desperate if he's coming to me, and I'll bet they'll have found something juicy down there. Signs of ritual sacrifice, maybe? I could do with some witch fig to take with me. Always comes in useful. Yeah, we learned about that witch fig earlier. A plant that is said to have many uses, well liked by butterflies. It has similar leaves to the fever kiss plant, which it is often confused with. So what we want to do is hop over to the fever kiss. That way we can see what its leaves look like. So a fever kiss has the red berries that provide an energy boost that lasts several hours. The leaves are pale in color. So I don't know. Okay, I think this one is the fever kiss then, because we've got red berries, right shape, leaves are pale. So let's go ahead and label this one as the fever kiss. So then for the fig, we are looking for something that has similar leaves to that. And if we take over this one, this witch fig, it has small yellow berries. The leaves, pretty much the same. Look at between the two of them, these plants are basically the same, except one's a recolor almost. So I'd imagine this one with the yellow berries is probably the witch fig. Also, hello there, Ribs. Welcome. A palette swap. Palette swap plant. Oh, yep. Got it. Jacob's Worth. People tend to be drawn to the unusual flowers of the Jacob's Worth, but it is the leaves that have the most interesting properties. It is said that they will point the way towards any person you wish to locate, and have been used successfully to find many a lost wanderer out in the fells. That means this one right here is the Jacob's Worth. Because I can see that the leaves, very similar. When we looked up at the plant, it did describe the leaves as having a mind of their own. A stalker plant! Got it! If you're ever looking for someone specifically, just pull out your old stalker plant, Jacob's Worth. Oh, Jacob, you card. Alright. Jacob's Worth. And then this one over here is the witch fig. I'm going to leave the fever kiss as well as Jacob's Worth over here, even though I have them identified, just for the purpose that we haven't actually used them yet. So it'll probably just be more convenient to keep them over here. I'm also going to go ahead and remove that question mark, because if the witch fig was described as leaves similar to fever kiss, and we identified that one, pretty straightforward here. Alright, who's next? I'm pointing at this guy. He's the one that got the rations on. Oh, man. I am on my way to the mayor's office to file an official request that your business license be revoked. You will practice your witchcraft on residents of Undermere no longer. Well, what did you have? Do you have anything to say for yourself? Alright, so we have two plant options. We can either give him the Storian or the Hunchuk. So let's check what they do. Storian over here. The dark red fruits should not be ingested under any circumstances, as they are highly poisonous, resulting in insanity and then death. We could murder him. Or our other option is the Henchuk. With the Henchuk, wait, it was over there, page 2, right there at the top, Henchuk. Fruit of the Henchuk can have startling effects on memory. Even a small dose can result in short-term memory loss, but in large amounts, it has been known to cause severe amnesia. So, our options here are either to make him forget his memory, or kill him. Let's go ahead and do a secondary zoom-in of Isidore over here. I'm looking at this guy. He's looking back at us. There we go. The visions of his true nature are becoming clear to me. This guy seems like he might be a little bit evil. I don't know that I want to help this guy out. Maybe just, you know, taking him away. Removing him from being able to cause any problems over here. Though, like the idea amnesia to gaslight him even longer. Neither option is helping him out. No, it's either do we kill him? Or do we just clear up his memory a little bit, huh? Look at this guy. Does he look like somebody that we shouldn't murder? You mean murder? I do mean murder, Phil. I pull out my knife. I look over at this guy. I think about killing him. I hold out my blade. It looks kind of like a flag, but I swear it's a knife. A detective has come in here multiple times this week. Is a murder a good idea now? But oh. This seems like a fairly extreme response and not liable to backfire. You know, with the fact that we had the Arda die from a seemingly plant poisoning, and we had that other guy over at the circle that has died also from maybe a seeming probably also was killed by plants, let's be honest. They said it was grizzly, they probably got killed by plant, and then were just chopped up or something, I don't know. But it does seem like if I kill this guy, that if there is anything that links back to me, that they're gonna blame me for the rest of the murders. So maybe we should, play it a little bit safe and opt for just wiping his memory. I mean, murder would be more fun, you know? But I also don't want to go to jail. So we'll prioritize myself in this case. Kill him once the other case is solved. Got it. There's an idea. Wait until then. Well then, sir. So, for the end check, it can have startling effects on the memory. It describes the bulb as being tuberous. And it's growing in bursts that give it a striped appearance when cut open. Turns blue-green if it is ready to harvest. So, if I pull out this flower right here, you can see that it has what appears to be some striping. Though I know it says the striping is there when it's cut open, but what if the striping is kind of present on the outside? You can also see how it describes the exterior as having a tuberous bulb. So it is still zoomed. I thought I hit the unzoom button. We can't look away from his face. It's too enchanting. We're intently staring at this guy as I'm over here looking at plants. I apologize. I swear that I had hit that zoom out button. Apparently I didn't. But as we're looking at this one again, it fits with the, like, you have the center stem here for the flower, and then you have little stem sections off here for the leaves that are poking out from the sides. So that one feels like it fits. And it does describe it as turning blue-green. However, if it changes to blue-green, if we look over at this one, this bulb is quite firm and turquoise in color. The orange fruits have no noticeable odor. If we compare the look of this, it also has a thin stem here, and also has little plant sections coming out at the sides. And it describes the color as being turquoise, and turquoise is considered a blue-green. This one looks maybe more of a yellow-green, though at the same time, its lineup of the plants here might match up better. But notice how it kind of dips down in a little U shape, or maybe a Y is more accurate to describe it as, and that would match up with the two stems from the fruit. What do you have to say for yourself? Gives plant. It says striped appearance. It does. However, it does also say that it is a striped appearance when cut open. So I don't know that that necessarily applies. Again, that's one of the things I pointed out, how you can kind of see it having a vague striping here, but it's not like that's necessarily related. Who wrote this damn book? They needed to give us an outer view. I don't want to see the interior. It doesn't help me that much. Here is another idea. What if we went through the book and see if we could identify between the two of them? Hang on, the sandfire has a tough outer bark which has many useful properties. Some chew it as a form of dental hygiene, taking care not to swallow it as it can cause unpleasant stomach distress. The flame-like tendrils give off a smoky scent, adding to the impression of a roaring fire. I think that might be this thing. Let me just grab my labels. Gray. Sandfire? Question marks? Because that kind of seems like it fits. Okay, we keep going. So what we're looking for is something that matches the flower, or that matches the berries of the other plant. So we don't want Jacob's Worth, Lady of the Summer, Lemon Dandy, Mary's Breath. We want to focus on plants that we have identified. Or that we haven't identified, I mean, because we've already seen St. John's Poppy. And clearly neither of those are St. John's Poppy. Oh, you know what? I looked to the Storian guide. What if this is intentionally made up so that the two plants are very similar to each other, seemingly identical? The dark red fruits should not be ingested under any circumstances, as they are highly poisonous, resulting in insanity and then death. A cross-section of the stem shows the distinctive triple xylem and phloem of the Storian. What if then this is the Storian and then this is the henchuck? So essentially either of them or both of them are correct, but they're both the different plants. And it's a trap. I can tell you right now then that it will make it a lot safer to opt for this one being the henchuck, since this one has something that you could consider red fruits. However, when you do look at this, it does describe it as saying the orange fruits. But that still makes me very suspicious. Wandering Boo, Winter Boar, Witch Fig, Worryless. It's the end of the book. We reopen, we start from the top. Maybe Spike is Storian. That's what I was thinking as well. I'm suspicious that Spike over here is the one that's the Storian. However, technically the only way that we would be able to identify that for certain is if we gave him it. If we gave him Spike. Alright, not Brimlock or Butterdale, not Cavalli or Candlewood, family of Comet Trouse, neither of these, neither of those. It's not the Gilded Dendra, as neither of these leaves are veined. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that it's the henchuck, and if it's not, that means we can just give him the other plant. Nope, there you go. So now we know that that is not accurate. So now I could try giving him this one as the henchuck. And it is. There we go. Alright. Henchuck. Identified. We've also now found out information about the Royal Gentria, sometimes called Everheart. The pink flowers of the Royal Gentian are made up of 2 large kidney-shaped petals. One of the few known ways to release the bind of Swift Snare is to apply a paste created from the sap of the Royal Gentian. Alright, that's this one right here. So if I grab my label, we'll go ahead and label that as the Royal Gentria, aka Everheart. And then Henchuck was this guy. Wait, no. Henchuck was this one. Because I was nervous about giving this one first, so we gave it second. There we are. And fortunately, we are at the end of the day at this point, as our rising dread was nervously, suspiciously, concerningly high. Alright, pulling out a card. The old man of Coniston looks out across the lake with blind eyes. His mind wanders with the current, floating gently southwards to the fork. Not long after the girl left home, her father wept, but he was so caught up in his own grief that he let her go and did not look for her. Dad, but daughter! Aw. With the way these moons are going here, it looks a little bit like they could probably go through the entire phase up to full moon, and then empty out back again to be a new moon, I think they're called, when they're all empty. Well, day 6. It hasn't even been a week, and there's been 2 murders. Boy. Well. I'm looking across all my plants. I wonder if by the end of the game, all of the plants are filled out on all of the shelves. Everything labeled and known. And if the moon kind of indicates how far we are in the game, we are then just about a third of the way through. If we had given him the story, and it would have been 3 murders. Yeah. I missed stream. Yeah, I'm looking over at the time. And we did just start up this next day. That does rather roll us out to the end here. I liked this. I thought it was neat, the way that the story just kind of slowly unfolds through the different dialogue of the characters, and as you go around and look at the different areas on the map, do a double stream. Oh, jeez. Felt like that stream sped by. It really did. Kind of unusual. It feels like this should be almost a slower paced game. Yeah, the map travel mechanics is neat in the way that you go out and find plants that way. Pretty cool. I like this. I like what it has, as I'm also going to pop back over to the game again real quick here. You can see, too, as it implies that something definitely exists here that is something sneaky magical, as I also have, beyond just that weird tool, how at the very beginning of the game, we got this little symbol. If you look up here onto the board, there are these little dials, and one of them does match the picture on this piece of paper. I have no idea what this does. I can only imagine that you put in some specific combination of flowers here, and it will unlock this box into some secret compartment. But I don't know. You can even see, I say, there's just a general clues thing. It then becomes very interesting about what's gonna happen plot-wise? Are those the Sisterhood? Are they actual legitimate spell-casting witches? I have no idea. Thanks for the stream. If you had killed that guy, I totally would have called the cops And then this would be the final stream, where I'm thrown into jail forever. Aw, jeez. But thank you, Phil, for resubscribing for 3 months. It's appreciated. Thank you. But also, thank you to Pope again for the raid. Appreciated. Thank you again to Cal, who also subscribed earlier. Thank you, everybody, for coming on by to watch. Very enjoyable. Tomorrow, as we continue on with our farming, we're not going to play quite the same type of farming sim. I would say that we're going to play Lens Island, and I would say that's a little bit closer to just more of a general sandbox exploration that has some farming elements to it. So it's going to be a different pace than Kinseed and Sunhaven from prior weeks. So, chat. I hope you all have a lovely day, and hope to see you tomorrow for some exploration sandbox building, collecting of items, growing of plants, but alone on the island, because see, that island, it belongs to Len. Nobody's there allowed on the island with him. He just grabs everybody and hucks them off into the ocean. Get off of Len's island. It belongs to him. Wait, he's picking me up and he's throwing me out in the ocean too. No, stop, Len, please. Ah!